is swung on and hit in the air to right field deep. And you can't forget about this one. Blaze Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! To left power, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps in the back for one out, throws to first, it is in time, a double play.
Pitch, breaking ball lifted deep to center field, and it is gone! A 2-run shot for Cody Hosey.
A high drive, left field deep. Bolzano going back, looking up. This ball is a 2-run homer. P.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his first season covering Newport Gulls baseball, here's play-by-play broadcaster Stephen Huff.
After jumping into second place, Newport's looking for their third straight win here on People's Credit Union Fanatic About Reading Night. How you doing, everybody? Stephen Huff getting you set for the 5th matchup in the Pell Bridge Series between the Newport Gulls and Ocean State Waves here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Last time out for the Gulls, they faced the New Bedford Bay Sox and were led by Justin Cherry on the mound, who pitched a season-high 7 innings and struck out another season-high 7 batters en route to the Gulls' 6-3 victory over the Bay Sox. Tonight, the Gulls will face off against the Ocean State Waves, who currently sit in 5th place in the Southern Division with an 11-19 record. Last time out, though, for the Waves, they did top the Mystic Schooners with a score of 14-10. It's the Gulls and Waves right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Gulls pregame show starts right now.
And welcome back to the NECBL Broadcast Network pregame show. John Perrick joined alongside with Stephen Huff, the lead broadcaster of the Newport Gulls broadcast team here in Newport. Now, Stephen, I've got to ask you, you're here in Newport, first summer here. How do you like it?
I love it. I mean, you know, I'm from Omaha, you know this, and we don't have beaches out where I'm from, and so being out here, traveling up and down the East Coast, it's a dream. I couldn't complain about anything.
Well, of course, yesterday Newport enjoyed a nice off day. Stephen, you were just talking about the beach. Is that where we could have found you yesterday?
Not yesterday. I was wanting to go out there. Actually, a couple of his interns were thinking about it. I had a lot of work to do, you know, so I couldn't do it yesterday, but I think I'm going to go there this weekend.
Well, there you go. He'll be at the beach this weekend. But now, Stephen, I have to ask you. Of course, you went to the University of Nebraska. I believe you just graduated. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
So, of course, at the University of Nebraska, tell everyone what did you major in? Did you have any minors?
Yeah, you know, I majored in broadcasting, and then I had 2 minors, sociology and English. And I loved it there. You know, everything about Nebraska was great. You know, I fell in love with the program. They get you involved right away. And so that was kind of one of the reasons I was drawn to the program. Worked with the Big Ten Network all the time. We also had a student radio program there that you just had so many reps. And so it was just kind of a great program all around that just everything about it, you know, just got you so much experience that if I could do it again, I'd go there in a heartbeat.
And now, Stephen, of course, you're with the Newport Gulls this summer. But what did you do last summer? Is this your first internship?
So 2 summers ago, I was actually with another summer ball team in Colorado, the Boulder Collegians, and so I already have a year of summer ball underneath my belt, and then last year I had to get a little bit more money underneath my belt, and so I was actually building furniture. We talked about it actually with Nick in the first edition of The Nest. I was building furniture, and we built furniture with the company and for a bunch of companies around, restaurants around Omaha. So I'm a multifaceted man out here. I can call baseball games, but I can also build furniture for everyone too.
Well, there you go. Stephen Huff, he does it all here in Newport, and the NECBL Broadcast Network pregame show continues next.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Nick Bell here with Brian Gursky. Now, Brian, this is Ask Go. We take questions from fans on social media to ask you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
All right. First question. Who is the class clown of the team?
I have to go with Mike Sansone.
Why is that?
Stuff he does in the bullpen, just a clown. Some stuff I can't say on TV, but he's just a clown all around.
What is one thing you can say on TV?
Maybe some of the dances he does in the bullpen, just the way he goes about himself. So it's pretty funny. It's a funny dude.
Second question. Who is the most talkative of the team?
Ooh, that's a lot of competition there. Maybe Coach Winterow? I would say Coach Winterow.
Really?
He's always talking on the bus to everybody, comes around, he goes in the outfield, talks to pitchers, anybody. So I think he's probably the most talkative on the team.
I would not have guessed that at all.
Oh, no. I think people would agree with me. He's probably the most talkative on the team.
All right. Third question here. If you had to choose 3 people to have dinner with, who would they be?
Anybody, like, on the team, or?
Just anybody in general.
Oh. Let's see here. Summer Rae. Summer Rae. Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Clayton Kershaw.
And so you got a variety of people in that group. What made you choose those 3?
I got the cute girl, probably my favorite actor, and my favorite baseball player.
I can't argue with that one, folks. So your cereal of choice.
My what?
Cereal of choice.
Frosted Mini Wheats. Healthy and good.
I agree with that one. What are your thoughts about IHOP switching their name to IHOB last summer?
I don't want to say my thoughts on TV about that, but I was not happy. But they switched it back, so they did the right thing. That's all I can say.
I completely agree with you on that.
A little disappointed at first, but they made the right decision at the end.
And so, on a scale from 1 to 10, how disappointed were you?
Probably an 8 or 9 out of 10. That's pretty disappointing for me.
That's high up there, my friend.
It's pretty high. It's pretty high.
So you have to go on a 1-month vacation with a teammate. Who would it be?
Ooh, with one teammate?
Yeah, just one. You can pick 2. You can pick 2 if you want.
Pick 2. I'll go with Chris because he always buys drinks when we go out. So, Chris, and I'll go Mike Townsend right there.
And so Mike said for us to shout him out. So can you do a little shout for Mike right now?
Yeah, I know he goes to UCLA, which is the not as good school in Los Angeles, but still love the guy. But yeah, just gotta give him a shout out.
I mean, he pitched great last game. What did you think about that?
Yeah, not bad for a Bruin, but he did a good job.
I heard Mike's nickname is Slider. Who came up with that?
Mikey Slider. Let's see here. Carson Rudd came up with that. So one time we were cooking burgers at Dylan Brown's place, and I don't know, just like he's known for his slider. He was cooking sliders, so put the two together and call him Mikey Sliders.
Oh, I thought it was just because he threw those sliders a lot.
Wait, he throws a great slider, and then on top of that, he was making sliders. So 2 and 2 together.
But last game we noticed he was throwing the slider at least every single pitch.
Yeah, 2 and 2 can go together. You can get great burgers and good slider.
You learn something new every day, folks. And so our last question here is a trivia question. Only I think 2 people have gotten these trivia questions right. So are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. So what fruit is considered to be a staple of Newport?
The what?
What fruit is considered to be a staple of Newport? Like what fruit is like the logo of Newport? Like what fruit do you see around Newport a lot?
Grape?
No, I'll give you a second try. There's like an inn, I think, named after it somewhere around here.
Is it? Try to look around and see if I can. Cherry?
No, it's not. It's actually a pineapple.
Oh, learn something new every day, I guess.
All right, folks. That's all we have time for. The pregame show continues next on NCBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Gulls pregame show. It's time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Stephen Huff joined alongside the Gulls field reporter Nick Bello and Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves. Now, Nick, I'm going to turn to you first. Of course, the Gulls' chance to win 3 straight here tonight. They're on a 2-game win streak. How big was that win on Monday night against the New Bedford Bay Sox?
I think that win was definitely probably one of the biggest wins all season. You get a win over a team, last place team, but still very important. And then that win propels you to second place. So, that was a huge win for the Gulls.
So now, as you said, they're in second place. Now they're facing another team in the Southern Division, the Ocean State Waves, for the 5th time on the year. What is tonight? What are the implications for the rest of the season for the Gulls?
You're playing a team that you've already seen, for the 5th time. And I think, the Gulls got this one, honestly. They pulled out the win on Monday against a team they were familiar with. They were riding that win. I think, this would be a game to solidify their second place in the Southern Division.
Now, Tim, I'm going to turn to you. Of course, the Waves 11-19 on the season, but you guys are riding a 3-game win streak, including a huge win last night over the Schooners.
Yeah, well, you said, or Nick had said that their last win was one of the biggest wins. I think last night was the Waves' biggest win. They put up 14 runs on a 21-hit effort, a huge grand slam from Garrett Hodges, who was 5 for 6 with 6 RBIs on the day. So it was a great overall win, and they're coming in hot and looking to take Game 5 here.
You mentioned 21 hits, 14 runs for the Waves last night. Who are some of the bats that the Waves, have in the lineup and that Newport fans should look out for tonight?
Well, I think it's the 1-2 punch of Garrett Hodges and Joe Simone. Combined last night, they were 9 for 11. Simone was 4 for 5 with a walk. He was on base 5 times, and Garrett Hodges 5 for 6. He was a double shy of the cycle.
Well, it should be a good one tonight. First pitch between the Gulls and Waves coming up at 6:35. The Gulls pregame show continues next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the Gulls pregame show. It's time for the manager's show. Stephen Huff joined alongside the Gulls head coach Kevin Winterroad. And coach, of course, Gulls facing off against the Waves tonight. It's the 5th time you guys have seen them on the year. What's your approach? Has it changed on the year, and how are you guys going to face them tonight?
No, we just need to worry about ourselves and play well the way we can play, and really the opponent shouldn't matter. It's just an opportunity to see where you're at in your game.
Now we're going to focus on the pitching in tonight's show. Dylan Brown has been a guy that's been excellent all season for Newport, starting or out of the bullpen. In fact, he just got a save this weekend against Mystic. Talk a little bit about his approach and what he brings to the table for the Gulls.
Well, the good thing for us is he did all of those things at Cal State Fullerton, so we're really not asking him to do anything he didn't do all season. But he just does a great job. He pitches to contact. He's got good movement, and as long as you play defense behind him, we have a good chance when he's out there.
And then, of course, on the mound tonight is Garrett Schmeltz, the lefty out of Louisville. Excellent fastball slider guy. Talk about just his electric approach out there on the mound.
Well, he's probably got some of the best stuff on our team, and when it comes from the left side, it's kind of one of those deals where people don't see it a great deal. So he's got a chance to be really special as a left-handed pitcher, and I think we're probably just seeing the very beginnings of what he's going to be a couple years down the road.
All right, thanks, Coach. He's Kevin Winterroad. I'm Stephen Huff. Gulls and Waves coming up next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Stephen Huff and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
Welcome into Newport for People's Credit Union Fanatic About Reading Night, where the first 300 fans receive baseball backpacks, courtesy of People's Credit Union. Stephen Huff joined alongside Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, and Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. Of course, it is the 5th matchup between these two sides in the Pell Bridge Series. The Newport Gulls coming into this one with an 18-13 record, and the Ocean State Waves at 11-19. Newport coming into this one on a 2-game win streak, looking to make it 3 here tonight. Of course, Ocean State, though, already on a 3-game win streak. Last time out for the Gulls, they played the New Bedford Bay Sox on Monday night here at Cardines, actually, and it was a 6-3 ball game, and the Gulls were led by, on the mound, Justin Cherry, who went a season-high 7 innings pitched, gave up just 5 hits gave up 2 runs off of 5 hits. One of them was earned. Well, only one of them was an earned run, and he also had a season-high 7 strikeouts. So an excellent performance there from Justin Cherry to get the 2nd win in a row for the Gulls, and their 18th on the season. And of course, they're facing off against the Ocean State Waves, who are currently sitting in the 5th spot in the Southern Division, but they're riding a 3-game win streak and just took down the Mystic Schooners.
Yeah, well, the Waves last night had a great game against the Schooners. They had a 21-hit offensive output. They had scored 14 runs as well behind a Garrett Hodges go-ahead grand slam in the 8th. They had scored 10 runs and allowed the Schooners to get back into it, and then Schooners pitching, loaded the bases. Garrett Hodges came through clutch for the Waves.
Yeah, and of course, we've seen some good battles between these two sides already. This is the 5th matchup between the two, as I've already said, but that lineup is just so stacked for the Waves.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, this probably isn't even their best lineup with the lefties. Schmeltz, some of the lefties for the Waves are out of the lineup, and you're right, Stephen. It's just a stacked lineup. They've been hitting well. They've really been playing their best baseball as of late.
Best baseball as of late for the Waves, and they're actually still in playoff contention. I mean, they're playing some good baseball, and there's still some baseball left for them this year.
Yeah, they're only 5.5 games out of a playoff spot. They're 7.5 out of first. They have 11 games left, so they can still go 500 in those 11 games and qualify for a playoff spot.
A lot of people were starting to write them off, but they're sneakily still there in the Southern Division. And I'm going to turn to you, Nick, to take a look at the standings in the North and South and fill us in on what's happening as the playoff race is starting to heat up.
Thank you, Steven. So North Adams leads the North, and they are in the top of first place with Upper Valley. North Adams' record is 18-11, Upper Valley 19-12. Keene is 1 game behind first place. Vermont also 1 game behind first place. Valley 2.5 games out of first. Sanford 7 games out of first. And Winnipesaukee in last place, 9.5 games out of first. As for the South, Martha Vineyard Sharks are 19-12, and they are in first place. Newport is 1 game out of first place. Behind them is Mystic, who Newport just took the second place spot from. Mystic is 2 games out of a first place spot, and they're in the third place spot, meaning they have a playoff spot right now. Danbury 4 games out of first place. Ocean State 7.5 games out of first place, and New Bedford in last place, 10 games out of first place.
Yeah, so I mean it's a tight race right now in the North and South. And 3 teams make it in, and Mystic, Danbury, and Ocean State right now, fighting for that third spot. And, Newport just got to that second spot, just trailing the Vineyard right now. But it's anybody's ball game, it seems.
Yeah, even now with the loss for the Westerners today, the Waves move up. They are now only 3.5, or excuse me, yes, still 5.5, excuse me. But the Westerners lost today, so they gained some ground on them.
They're playing a doubleheader right now. So they lost the first game, and I think Danbury's up in the second game right now, 2-1 top 4th.
Well, that's perfect timing. Nick, I'll send it your way, and you could fill us in on what's happening around the league. Take a look at the games here tonight around the NECBL.
Oh, thank you, Stephen, again. So Danbury, as I said, is playing in New Bedford in a doubleheader. 4-3 New Bedford in the first game, 2-1 Danbury right now, top of the 4th. Vineyard is at Winnipesaukee tonight. North Adams is playing at Sanford. Upper Valley at Vermont. Keene at Valley, and of course here in Newport is hosting the Ocean State Waves from down the street. So Stephen, back to you.
Yeah, I mean, so a couple of high impact games here tonight that could even furthermore shape up some of the standings.
Yeah, that doubleheader will be huge for the Waves. We'll have to scoreboard to watch through that one, but you got Mystic. They're not playing tonight. They have their first night off in a while, so you can only game a half game on them, but on the other side you can only lose a half game on them should you lose tonight.
Yeah, and you look at, I think the Vineyard game was rained out, and I think the Keene and Valley game has been rained out. And so it looks like, we're one of the few games that is going to be played tonight. And even us, we might be in doubt later on because we will have some weather that is going to be heading our way. As you can see, gray skies here if you're watching with us. If you're just listening, it is getting awful foggy here. And we have some rain and storms, thunderstorms in the forecast. We will keep our eyes on that. But looking at the Danbury game in New Bedford, looks to be 4-2 in the bottom 7th inning, or unless Danbury already got that win. I don't know, maybe my website's a little bit slow to be updating on that, but we will keep our eyes on that.
Yeah, I got 4-2 bottom 7.
We will be keeping our eyes on how that one shapes up.
Yeah, there's 2 outs at the bottom of the 7th right now.
And it might have just been tied up 4-4 with the Bay Sox.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the Bay Sox put up 2 runs there in the bottom of the 7th.
And so, of course, with it being a doubleheader, they only play 7 innings, but now they will be going into extras, it seems, if the Bay Sox don't tack on any more. And so that may lead to Danbury sliding even more in the standings.
Yeah, they did that behind a 2-run home run from the Bay Sox shortstop, Jack Winkler.
Jack Winkler, of course, we saw him the other night on Monday, and he was one of the few Bay Sox to have success against Justin Cherry. He had 3 hits, and Justin Cherry only gave up 5. And so that just goes to show, how talented he is.
Yeah, and on the flip side of things, against the Waves last time out, he was 0 for 4 with a walk and 3 strikeouts. So,
yeah, some days he's on, some days he's not. Obviously, he's been riding a hot streak the past couple of nights, and he's able to come through for the Bay Sox tonight. But we're going to send it down to the field for tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
Now let's get ready to play some baseball.
We would like to thank People's Credit Union for tonight's national anthem and being the sponsor tonight for the Newport Gulls, as it is People Credit Union Fanatic About Reading Night. Of course, earlier this year, the Gulls players read to some schools around Newport, to some of Newport's youth, read some books to them as they went into the Newport classrooms and actually had a deal with them. If those kids, they were given bookmarks, if they read 4 books across the summer, then they were able to come to this game tonight for free. And so plenty of them are here tonight, and that was made possible by tonight's sponsor, People's Credit Union. As for tonight, we are going to take a look over now at Ocean State's lineup. Of course, it's between the Ocean State Waves and Newport Gulls, so I'm going to send it over to Tim Joyce as he will take us through the Waves lineup.
Yeah, well, for the Waves leading off, it's going to be Joe Simone. He's the rising senior out of Rider University. He's playing center field. The hero from last night, Garrett Hodges, plays right field. Bats second from Kennesaw State. Casey Dana had the night off against the Mystic Schooners. He's playing third base, batting third tonight. Elijah Dunham is the DH. He has the night off defensively. He's batting cleanup. Xavier Vargas switched places with Casey Dana, now hitting fifth, playing first base, a rising junior from the University of Rhode Island. Nick Elson back in the lineup, playing left field, hitting sixth from Kent State. John Crescino is catching. Daniel Sears caught the last game. The rising sophomore from URI, Will McGillis, had the last 2 nights off. He's playing shortstop, the redshirt sophomore from Southern Miss. And running out the Waves lineup, it'll be Ian Osberg playing second base, a rising junior from Quinnipiac.
And towing the rubber against the Waves will be the lefty from Louisville, Garrett Schmeltz. He'll be making his 4th appearance, 2nd start on the year for the Gulls. And through those 7 2/3 innings pitched, he still hasn't given up a run. He's only given up 4 hits and 4 walks, and he struck out 10 batters in those 7 2/3 innings pitched. Now for the Gulls lineup, we're going to be looking at Hudson Haskin of Tulane. He'll be playing center field to lead things off for the Gulls. Following him is Isaiah Thomas of Vanderbilt. He'll be playing right field. Batting third is Chris Hamilton of Stony Brook, playing first base. In the cleanup spot for Newport, Brett Vosick. He'll be the designated hitter. Batting fifth is Justin Henry Malloy, the Vanderbilt third baseman. Batting sixth is Hayden Jones. He'll be behind the dish for the Gulls. He'll be the catcher tonight from Mississippi State. Batting seventh is Joey Bellini, the Cincinnati second baseman for the second night in a row. Batting eighth is Austin James, the Missouri shortstop. And rounding out the order for the Gulls is Greg Cavalieri, University of Rhode Island left fielder. Then, of course, on the other side of things, for the Waves, who is going to be their pitcher tonight?
Well, it's going to be Trevor Pittman. He's a rising sophomore from Kent State, a Eaton, Ohio native. On the year, he does have an 0-1 record, a high ERA at 8.26. He started 5 games, he's appeared in 5 games, started 4. This will be his 5th start of the year. He's throwing 16 and a third innings. He does have 15 strikeouts, but the most glaring thing to me would be the walks. He has 16 walks in those 60 innings. Same as the Waves pitcher last night, Matt Seaman. When he's throwing strikes, he's one of the better pitchers in the league, but he struggles to find the zone a little bit, and opponents are hitting 340 off of him.
Now we'll be taking a look at the umpires tonight, calling the balls and strikes. Will be Will Bowers behind the plate, and in the field is Joey Stanger and Levante Palmer. Taking a look at the weather at first pitch, we mentioned there might be some rain here tonight, but at first pitch it's just a cloudy, misty 75 degrees and 98% humidity with a 10-mile-per-hour wind coming out of the southwest. Now, that rain looks like thunderstorms here tonight. 30% chance, that's what my forecast on my phone says at 7 p.m., and it's increasing as the night goes on. We are in a severe thunderstorm watch as of right now, and we will wait to see if that affects us later on. We hope to at least play 5, but obviously hope to also get through 9 innings tonight, but it's looking bleak because the clouds are coming in more and more. We saw, the 98% humidity is just out of this world.
Yeah, it was absolutely sweltering when I got here today about 4:30 or about 4 o'clock, and I left, got some food, and come back, and it's foggy.
Yeah, and so we will keep our eyes on that as the night goes on. But taking a look at the defense for the Gulls, it will be Cavalieri, Haskin, and Thomas going from left to right in the outfield, and then left to right in the infield as well. Malloy, James, Bellini, and Hamilton. And behind the dish for the Gulls is Hayden Jones. Then, of course, on the mound, we said Garrett Schmeltz. He'll be facing off against Simone Hodges and Dana. And, of course, that is a dangerous lineup, as we mentioned, especially with this 98% humidity. The ball might travel for both teams, and when you got guys like Hodges and Dana who can crush the ball, even Dunham after that, you might see some balls travel out of here and for the goals as well.
Yeah, I know the Waves was down by the cage while they were taking BP today. They put on an absolute offensive show. Everybody was just trying to hit home runs. When you have a team rolling like this and you're taking loose BP, it can certainly benefit you.
Yeah, I was out there with John Perrick, another intern for the goals, and we looked over and we saw Brett Vosick, who already crushes balls in BP, and we heard a crack of the bat and we looked over and he took it over the right field fence, and I think it cleared 2 or 3 houses into Newport, and we were stunned because, I've told this story, but guys tease Vosick because he hits so many home runs in batting practice, and they say he needs to cool it because they're going to run out of balls. But this one was mashed farther than I've seen him hit any ball so far.
Yeah, John Cristino, I think he hit that house out in left field a good 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, so we might see some balls travel tonight, but we are set for baseball now. 6:37 local time. Schmeltz facing off against Simone to start us off. Lefty on lefty matchup. Simone of Rider University hitting .322 so far on the summer for Ocean State.
Hey, he came into last night hitting only .292, but a 4 for 5 night will raise your average that high.
And now he's leading off for the Waves. 5 doubles on the year, and he works walks at an efficient rate as well. Of course, lefty on the mound for the Gulls. Schmeltz will feature mid-90s fastball and a sweeping slider as this first pitch fastball just misses inside, backing Simone off the plate a little bit, but you heard the pop in the glove, and Schmeltz can really bring it.
Yeah, Schmeltz is an absolutely nasty lefty, but Joe Simone on the other end, he hits .538 off a lefty, so a little bit of a reverse splits guy.
That's why he's in the lineup today, as that 1-0 fastball misses inside once again. Simone, not a guy that you want to get on base early on if you're the Gulls either. 4 stolen bases on the season, but 12 for 12 this spring, as that one's going to come inside and actually hit Simone. So 2 straight balls, and then the next pitch came in and hit him on that shoulder facing Schmeltz, and so the leadoff man is aboard for the Waves.
Yeah, that can't feel good. That was 93 or right to the shoulder.
Yeah, there's not a pitch that will feel good if it's going to hit you coming out of Schmeltz, but especially the fastball coming right at you. So the first batter is aboard for the Waves with no away, and as we said, Simone only 4 stolen bags for the Waves, but 12 for 12 for Rider University this spring as that first pitch slider misses up for ball 1.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Every pitch from Schmeltz is missed up and in against 2 lefties. Be interesting to see whether he's just not following through or it's a release point issue for him.
It is Garrett Hodges, the lefty right fielder, settling in for the Waves. This 1-0 pitch he swings through. Another pitch that was up and in, 1-1.
Yeah, the pitch that Hodges hit the grand slam on last night was actually a pitch on the outside half at his eyes, and he was able to get the barrel to it and hit it out to center field.
That's tough to do.
Yeah. He hit a triple off the same pitch in his last at-bat.
Now Schmeltz throws over to first, but Simone was back in plenty of time.
Yeah, I talked to him after the game. He was throwing up in the zone all game, and he was just looking to get a sac fly. He just caught a barrel with it.
So Schmeltz might have to be careful here. Now on this 1-1, that one up and in on Hodges. He turns away, and it's 2-1. You can see Schmeltz, as you said, missing his spots, and he doesn't seem too happy with himself on the mound. Going to want to bring it a little bit lower in the zone. It's now out of the stretch on the 2-1. That one, another big swing and a miss from Hodges. To be another fastball up, 2-2.
Seems like he really followed through on that one, and that's why it was a strike, I would assume.
It's now Schmeltz working from the third base side of the rubber. On the 2-2, another up and in, and Hodges ducking out of the whole batter's box. Count now full.
It'll be interesting to see what Schmeltz goes to here. As you said, he has that wipeout slider. He hasn't had any command of the fastball, and he's got 2 swings and misses on the slider from Hodges.
Schmeltz looking on. Looks over to first. Now, payoff pitch does go to the slider, but misses low for ball 4. So a hit batter to lead off the night, and then a full count walk. That puts the 2 first batters for the Waves aboard, and with no outs, that will bring up Casey Dana. First righty batter that Schmeltz will face on the mound today.
Go ahead.
Dana hitting .230 on the year, but 5 home runs.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. He's
the guy that can really bring the power to the plate for the Waves as he watches first pitch misses up from Schmeltz, 1-0.
I'm told Marks is warming up in the bullpen right now for Newport. Could be a side session, though. We're not completely sure about that.
Marks, a typical starter for the Gulls, did come out of the bullpen early in the season, but since his first 2 appearances out of the bullpen has been a starter every 5 days. Now that 1-0 pitch is going to be popped up into the streets of Newport along the right side, 1-1.
Yeah, I think if you're Casey Dana here, you got to hunt that fastball and adjust to the slider. With the guy throwing as hard as Schmeltz does, you have to be ready for a fastball at any time, and then the slider's going to be hard because he throws the fastball so hard. So you'll be able to adjust easily.
It's now Schmeltz on the 1-1. Another pitch that misses up, 2-1. Not the command we're used to seeing from Schmeltz. His last time out was against Danbury. It was his first start of the season in the second game of the doubleheader against the Westerners. He pitched 4 innings, gave up just 2 hits, did not give up a run, and struck out 6. Now the 2-0, that one a little bit lower and just missing outside, so count now 3-0 to the third man in the lineup for Ocean State. Check that, 3-1. Now Schmeltz looking on. On the 3-1. Another fastball, this one missing low once again. So 2 straight walks for him, and he hit the first one as well. So the bases are now loaded for the cleanup man in the Waves lineup.
It'll bring out Greg Zackerson, the Gulls pitching coach. I think you got to almost think about taking him out of the game now.
Yeah, it's certainly not the start Schmeltz wanted or Greg Zackerson wanted out of Schmeltz, and certainly not the one they expected because Schmeltz is such a dynamic, electric pitcher for the Gulls. Maybe it's just, sometimes it's just not your day out there. But you started to see in that at-bat his ability to work a little bit lower in the zone, but he was still missing just by an inch or 2.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 10 strikeouts in just 7 2/3 innings. So
you know the stuff is there, and when you watch it in person, an electric fastball, mid-90s, and a sweeping slider that we've talked about.
Yeah, and also you ask any pitcher, a major league pitcher at least, they're going to have about 30 starts a year. 10 starts, you're going to have your best stuff. 10 starts, you're not going to have anything. And 10 starts, you're going to have okay stuff. And I think this just might be one of those days where Schmeltz just may not have his best stuff.
I agree. Keeping that consistency throughout a whole season is very tough to do, especially for a pitcher.
So with the bases loaded and no outs here in the top of the first, that will bring up Elijah Dunham, the designated hitter tonight for Ocean State. He's hitting .327 on the year for the Waves. Lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch. Fastball's in there for strike 1.
Yeah, I think if you're the Waves, you really have to capitalize on these 3 free passes here. As you said, Stephen, we might have a rain-shortened game tonight, so you have to score early and often. Even just a fly ball would do it here.
Dunham is hitting .375 off of lefties this season. It's now the 0-1. That slider's going to break outside of the zone, low and away. Count now even at 1. But you're absolutely right. I mean, with the rain possibly shortening this game, this seems like a critical point for Ocean State to break it open early for them. Schmeltz, though, I mean, this could be a great opportunity to get an early out and then go from there as this 1-1 fastball catches the bottom edge of the zone. He's now ahead in the count, 1-2.
So the New Bedford Bay Sox just walked it off on a 3-run Tommy Seidel home run.
So the Base Sox take down the Westerners. Is that the second time here today in the doubleheader? So they sweep Danbury.
And Tommy Seidel, if you remember, had the very gruesome. He got hit in the head against Mystic. This is, I believe, it's one of his first or second games back. So.
And he didn't play against us, so that's a great comeback for him. Is this 1-2 pitch pop back into the screen? Dunham almost able to barrel that one up, and we'll go again.
It's a big win for both Newport and Ocean State.
Helps out both the teams here playing in front of us tonight. So count 1-2 now to Elijah Dunham. No outs here in the top of the first. Bases loaded for Ocean State. Still 0-0. This 1-2 off speed, and it's going to catch Dunham looking at the top edge of the zone. 4 strike 3. And with one away, that will bring up Xavier Vargas. And that felt like a huge punch out there for Schmeltz. Now it sets up the double play and could get you out of this inning with no damage done.
Yeah, even one pitch here, as you said, Stephen, could get Schmeltz out of this inning. I still think if you're Xavier Vargas, you're taking a couple pitches. He had a great battle back against Elijah Dunham to kind of work himself back into this game, but I still think if you're Xavier Vargas, you got to work the count a little bit.
Another lefty-on-lefty matchup for Schmeltz on the mound. Pitch going to break into the zone. Vargas taking for strike 1.
He's given these last two lefties a heavy dose of the sliders. The fastball command really hasn't been there, but that slider's been real sharp tonight.
Now Schmeltz looking on. Vargas, another good hitter against lefties, 389 on the season. Now this one's going to be lined right back into the backstop, 0-2.
Yeah, I really think Schmeltz has found his pitch here. I talked to Mackenzie Stills a few days ago, and he said, you know, he tries to find one pitch to get guys out, and a couple games ago it was the slider for him on Friday night.
Now Schmeltz looking on the 0-2. The 0-2 offering. Slider missing up. 1-2.
Yeah, again, it was that fastball there that missing up and into a lefty.
And even, I mean, I think I missaw that pitch because if that was the fastball, it seems like it's lost a lot of steam since it started at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, he could just be trying to slow down his mechanics a little bit.
As now this 1-2. That one's going to be blasted into right field, and it's going to land in front of Thomas. They'll score 1 for the Waves. They're going to hold up them at third. The throw down to third, and it's going to catch up Hodges. Base running mistake there from Ocean State, but they do score 1. And the Gulls do gain an out on the play, so 2 away, but Ocean State now leads 1-0.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where I honestly wouldn't really put that mistake on Hodges. Third base coach Eric Hirschbein-Bodner held him up a little bit too late, and Hodges really was motoring around. He was ready to score, and he just didn't really have time to stop.
Yeah, it was a tough play because he had the big turnaround, and you saw miscommunication maybe a little bit, the late break call there, and there wasn't a chance for him to get back in time. So 2 away. As the Waves now lead 1-0. Nick Elson at the plate for Ocean State. First pitch, fastball missing up and away for ball 1.
And if you really want to get technically, made contact with the third base coach, so he would have been out on coach's interference anyways.
Lefty on righty matchup for Schmeltz on the mound. Elson hitting 186 on the season for Ocean State. Now this 1-0 fastball going to be swung on and missed. They're going to throw down behind the runner at first, but not in time. Getting back safely was Vargas.
Yeah, Hayden Jones had Xavier Vargas there. The throw was just short hopped a little bit, and it was dropped by Hamilton. The throw been caught, I think he would have been out.
Seemed like it was in time, but you're absolutely right. Short hopped, and I don't think Hamilton gloved it cleanly. No. So the count 1-1. Schmeltz with that 186 average, though, does have 2 home runs to his name. Now this one line back into the screen, 1-2.
Yeah, and I'd say this, Elson probably the strongest Wave. He doesn't look it. He's about 6'3", about 200 pounds, but he's got, I think, the most raw power on the team.
Yeah, surprises me because you're right. His frame doesn't appear to be so, but you've been around him, and so with 2 home runs to his name too, with that average, it shows that he is hitting for raw power when he does hit.
And his home runs have been long home runs. One almost cleared the second fence at Old Mountain Field. He's had a couple fouled down that way too, yeah.
Now this 1-2 Breaking ball, going to catch Elson looking for strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Schmeltz, and that will end things here in the top half of the first. But the Waves do score 1 off of 1 hit and a pair of walks and a hit batter. Heading into the home half of the first, the Waves lead 1-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Franklin.
Bottom of the first here at Cardines. Waves lead 1-0. Stephen Huff alongside Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, and Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. And it's going to be Trevor Pittman on the mound starting for Ocean State.
Yeah, well, Pittman on the year really hasn't had quite the summer he's wanted. He's only a rising sophomore for the Golden Flashes. On the year, he has an 0-1 record at 8.26 ERA. He's appeared in 5 games, 4 starts. As we said, this will be his 6th appearance of the year, his 5th start. But he's just, a rising sophomore. He's looking just to get innings and kind of make his name in a league like this. For the Golden Flashes on the year, he didn't pitch all too much in his redshirt freshman season, but
well, he will be facing off against Hudson Haskin, leadoff man for the Gulls. First pitch, fastball missing low for ball 1.
Yeah, Pittman had 42 and 2/3 innings for the Golden Flashes this year. Was more of a weekend reliever or a midweek starter.
Now this 1-0 is going to be popped up into shallow right. Going back is Osberg from second base. Now in on the dirt once again. He's there for out number 1.
Pittman does have 15 strikeouts in 16 1/3 innings, but to go along with that, he has 16 walks. So he's somebody, when he's on, he's one of the better pitchers in the league, and he can really command the strike zone. But when he doesn't have it, he walks batters, and people get hits off of him.
Well, the second batter he will face today after getting Hudson Haskin to pop out on 2 pitches is Isaiah Thomas. Of course, Thomas just earned NECBL Player of the Week last week as that first pitch to Thomas catches the bottom edge for strike 1. Righty on righty matchup for Pittman. On the 0-1. Pitch missing low. 1-1. It is getting awful foggy here at Cardines, especially, looking out towards center and right center gap.
No, it's kind of weird, though, because center field looks the worst right now from our point of view.
Now this 1-1's going to be fisted over the head of McGillis at short and into the left center gap. Thomas is rounding first, but he's going to hold up, and he's aboard with a 1-out single.
Yeah, I said this to you earlier today. I think from seeing Isaiah Thomas play, we've only seen him play once, but he's one of the best bats in the league, just raw potential, one of the really great hitters.
Yeah, he has so much time. 5-tool guy, really, but at the plate can hit for average, can hit for power, but his bat speed just blows me away, and so much strength behind that bat as well. You saw there, got fisted on that pitch, but was able to muscle it into the left center gap and work a single out of it. Now Chris Hamilton up for the Gulls. First pitch fastball catching the top edge of the zone for strike 1. Of course, Thomas, I said he's a 5-tool guy. Part of that is great speed. He is the fastest player on the Gulls team. 6 stolen bases on the year, and he just arrived not too long ago from Vanderbilt after winning national championship with them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do send him off for second here early on. Righty on lefty matchup for Pittman on the mound. Runner does take off for second. Pitch misses up and away, and Thomas is in second in plenty of time.
Yeah, it was a decent throw by Cristino. He got it out of the glove quickly. He just sailed it a little high to Osberg at second.
And so with that, Thomas is now aboard in scoring position. 7th stolen base of the year for him. It's now the 1-1. Pitch missing low, 2-1. Hamilton coming into this one riding a 19-game on-base streak for Newport. So this 2-1 pitch he's going to foul off of Cristino and count now even at 2.
He will take it through the defense for the Waves. Left to right in the outfield, it's Nick Elson, Joe Simone, Garrett Hodges. First to third, Xavier Vargas, Ian Osberg, Casey Dane, and Will McGillis. And Trevor Pittman's on the bump, and John Cristino's behind the plate tonight.
Pittman is up against Hamilton at the plate. Pitch is going to come low and inside to Hamilton. He watches it. Count now full. Pittman shaking off Cristino at the plate. Runner on second for the Gulls is now the payoff pitch. Hamilton swinging and missing. And it's something off speed, catching him out in front for first strikeout of the day for Pittman, and the second out here in the bottom of the first.
It's getting awfully foggy here, real quick.
Yeah, they say it comes in quick at times, and we're seeing it here. Now Brett Vosick settles in for Newport, designated hitter tonight for the Gulls. First pitch, another breaking ball dropping into the zone for strike one.
So I got to ask you, you're both from Omaha. Did you know each other before coming here to Newport?
We didn't, but we knew a lot of the same guys. He's a year younger than me, but we know a lot of the same guys, just from similar schools and playing, baseball around the city, as well as that 0-1 pitch misses low, 1-1. But he saw me drive up the first day to catch, the first team bus, and he saw my Nebraska license plate, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what are the odds that I find someone else in Rhode Island with Nebraska plates?" Is that 1-1 pitch misses up and away, 2-1. And so that was something we quickly talked about. It was the road up to Keene for a good 20 minutes or so, just talking about everyone we know and how we know each other. And one of the places I used to work, he actually used to come in all the time, so we actually probably used to see each other quite a bit without even knowing it. It's that 2-1, he's going to foul off of Cristino.
Yeah, he's in pain there. I think it got him in the ankle.
You see him limping around now. Hope he's okay. He looks to be in a great deal of pain. And, we said this on another broadcast. It seems to never hit you in the padding.
No.
It seems to always find a way to avoid it.
It'd be too easy to hit you in the padding.
Right.
Baseball is hard.
He's shaking it off, as every catcher somehow does, and he'll go back behind the dish for the Waves. Count 2-2 to Brett Vosick.
Those guys have to be the toughest people in the baseball field.
Yeah, I was a catcher up until my freshman year of high school, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, it's not a job I want to sign up for.
Once you start throwing mid-80s, I'm out.
As that 2-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike three, second strikeout in a row for Pittman, and that will end things here in the first. One hit for the Gulls off of no errors, no runs scored as they leave one stranded. Heading into the second, Gulls trail the Waves 1-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 7-8-9 hitters due up for Ocean State here in the top of the second as they lead 1-0 here at Cardine. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello. Hey, John Cristino, Will McGillis, and Ian Osbert facing off against Garrett Schmeltz. Schmeltz in the first inning of his outing tonight hit the first batter he saw, walked the next two, and then two batters later gave up an RBI single off of Xavier Vargas's bat. But in that meantime did get two strikeouts, and off the single that he gave up to Vargas, there was a base running miscommunication, and they end up able to tag out Hodges in between third and home. A late break call for him, and he went back to third, and they were to throw over to third and tag him out. So Hodges put the first three on, but only gave, or Schmeltz put the first three on, but only gave up one run, able to work out of that jam. So now Cristino, first pitch to him is going to be flown out of play right behind the plate, 0-1.
If I'm Schmeltz, I love the way I got out of that first inning, honestly. I wouldn't consider that a total loss.
No, you only give up one run, and you get two strikeouts off of pretty nasty sliders at that.
He's now looking on to Cristino. The 0-1 offering. Out one dropping beneath the zone, 1-1.
I was just like the way he was able to, Zackerson comes out to the mound, talks to him a little bit. Then he comes back, two strikeouts and one single, but the guy got thrown out at third. So, it doesn't get better than that.
Now this 1-1. Fastball misses up and away, 2-1. Yeah, a lot of guys could buckle and struggle in that situation, but Schmeltz was able to bounce back and work through it.
I think if you're Schmeltz in that, you had to just rely on your stuff. Your stuff's good enough. You're a pitcher for Louisville. You pitched in the College World Series.
Is that 2-1? Another pitch missing up and away, 3-1.
You're good enough to get out of that, whether you don't give up a run or you give up only one run. You just have to rely on your stuff, and that's probably what Greg Zackerson had told him is you can get out of this. It's not the end of the world if you give up a run.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point. He probably just said attack the batter at the plate as that 3-1's going to be popped behind the plate and out of play. Count out full. Just focus on your stuff and attack the guy at the plate. And he did just that. Got a strikeout the next batter he faced, which was a much needed out. And then he went from there.
Yeah, because when you get cued, it's when you can kind of start to not really miss your spots and not hit the zone.
That payoff pitch misses up and away for ball 4. Third walk of the day for Schmeltz. So that will put the leadoff man aboard first for the second time in a row for him. That will bring up Will McGillis. McGillis hitting .213 on the year for the Waves. Lefty on righty matchup for Schmeltz. First offering, another pitch missing up and away for ball 1.
I'm told Seamus Brazel is up in the pen for the Waves right now.
Brazil.
Oh, Brazil.
Seamus, yeah, the big 6'9" righty out of Hofstra.
Heard about him last night. It's unreal.
Yeah, he threw actually the only no-hitter in Hofstra history.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a 7-inning game, but
still counts.
Yeah, a no-hitter nonetheless.
Another 1-0 pitch missing outside, 2-0.
And if you ask him about it, he's the most humble guy about it. I said to him, Trek, did you really throw a no-hitter? Like, when I first saw him this year, he's like, yeah.
What about it?
Yeah.
So now this 2-0 swung on and missed. McGillis at another pitch. Looked to be on the outer half. 2-1.
It reminds me of Cody Hosey last year. He was here in Newport, probably one of the most humble guys. Would have a similar response to that question if he was a pitcher.
McGillis' dad was actually the former AD at Southern Miss.
Oh.
He was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
So now this 2-1 going to be popped up behind the plate once again. 2-2.
He attended his senior year of high school in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, once he committed to Southern Miss, and his family now lives out in San Diego.
You know, I was actually just talking to Mike Townsend's family, who some of them are here from San Diego as well. Small world. They're here for the week. It's getting to know them a little bit. They got to see Townsend pitch last night as this 2-2 pitch just swung on and missed for strike 3. Third strikeout of the day for Schmeltz. One away here in the second. And it was actually, they got to see Townsend pitch last time out for the Gulls. It was on Monday.
Yeah, it was nice having that day off yesterday, I'm sure. You'll agree, Steven.
It's a long season, so, you know, a rest day doesn't hurt anyone every now and then.
Yeah, the Waves have a real grind coming up. I think we have 7 games in the next 6 days, something around that.
Yeah, I mean, we all had so many rainouts early on in the season that the schedule packs on late. As that first pitch to Ian Osberg, another fastball up and in, 1-0. And I think, you know, that's going to be, you know, a test for everyone, these schedules late on, and the schedules that everyone's going through, you know, kind of right now, because it tests how much depth everyone has. Is that 1-0, another pitch missing up, 2-0.
Yeah, that's what I think the Waves front office, in my opinion, has done a great job. They've added 2 two-way players, and C.J. McKinnon and Ben Kasparius, who can start, and we saw McKinnon come out of the bullpen last night, but can also hit if you need them to. So it just adds that extra depth and still leaves roster spots open for a couple one-way guys, whether they're a position player or a reliever.
Yeah, that's an excellent strategy moving forward. Add some flexibility to them as that 2-0 pitch, another pitch missing up, and count now 3-0 to Osberg.
Fog's starting to clear up now.
Yeah, it has significantly since the bottom of the first when the Gulls were hitting, and even a little bit in the top of the first when the Waves were out there as well. Now this next pitch to Osberg misses in for ball 4, so a 4-pitch at bat puts Osberg aboard first. 2 walks in this inning, 4 on the day for Schmeltz on the mound. There's runners on first and second with only 1 away.
Yeah, that flips it over for the red-hot Joe Simone.
Yeah, and with the runner in scoring position as well. Simone comes into tonight hitting .322. His first time up, though, was hit by a pitch. Schmeltz looking on. First pitch to Simone. It's going to be hit into center field. Going back is Haskin. And he's underneath it for out number 2. And unable to tag on the play is Cristino, so everyone's staying where they are at first and second.
Yeah, it looked like Simone got jammed a little bit there. A good pitch by Schmeltz to get in on the hands of a lefty who was attacking first pitch.
So that will bring up another lefty in the Waves lineup. Garrett Hodges worked a walk his first time up and was later tagged out at third. Play we were talking about where he maybe got a hold-up sign a little bit too late, rounding third, heading to the plate, and then was gunned down on his way back. Now his first pitch, fastball in there for strike one. Schmeltz looking on the 0-1. Fastball runs up and in. Jones throws down to first base, but cutting it off is Hamilton. 1-1 the count to Hodges. Runners on first and second for the Waves as they lead the goals 1-0 here in the top of the second.
Yeah, Osberg right there took a huge lead. He's taking another huge one right now.
Hamilton is not holding him on at first. With 2 away here in the top of the second. Now this 1-1. Slider dropping into the zone. 1-2. Schmeltz on the 1-2 offering. Fastball going to be grounded past Malloy at third and into left field. So everyone moves up 90 feet. And that will now load the bases for the Waves for the second time here tonight. And with 2 away, that will bring up Casey Dana.
Yeah, Garrett Hodges is just staying red hot. He's now 6 for 7 in his last 7 at-bats, going back to last night, with 2 walks sprinkled in there.
So he keeps that hot streak going, as now Casey Dana settles in for the Waves, hitting .230 on the season, but his first time up tonight, worked a walk. First pitch to Dana. Slider catching the top edge of the zone, 0-1.
I think the Waves going to start jumping on that breaking ball from Schmeltz. He's shown that's his best pitch tonight. He's been able to command it really well, but he's dropping it in for hittable pitches, and I think the Waves just aren't really expecting at first pitch. They're going to start jumping on that.
Yeah, you see it especially at the top edge of the zone still. The Waves are reluctant to pull the trigger on it. So now this 0-1, another slider. This one at the top edge of the zone, but just missing up, 1-1.
Yeah, last night Ryan McClinsky for the Schooners was dropping that, or trying to drop that breaking ball first pitch in. He wasn't getting the call, though. He was spotting it pretty well, but unable to get the call. And I think the Waves are kind of looking back to that a little bit.
So now Schmeltz looking on the 1-1. Fastball missing up. 2-1. And he's still struggling just a little bit to bring it down. I mean, that's been his problem pretty much the whole night. It's just up and away with that fastball and even slider. He's walked 4 batters through 1 2/3 and given up a pair of hits. That one's going to be hit back into the backstop. 2-2. Again, 1-0, Waves lead. Bases loaded, though, here in the top of the second with 2 away. Lefty on righty matchup for Schmeltz. On the 2-2, slider breaks down and in. They're going to say it was off the foot of Dana. So second hit batter tonight for Schmeltz, and that will walk in a run for the Waves. They now lead 2-0.
Yeah, decent idea there by Schmeltz, the back foot slider, trying to get Casey Dana to chase. He just held on to it a little bit too long, and actually hit the foot of Dana. Almost reminded the last out of the World Series, Chris Sale, the back foot slider on Manny Machado.
Right. So now the Waves up 2-0. Bases still loaded, and that will bring up Elijah Dunham. Struck out looking his first time up. This first pitch, he swings, and it's going to be fouled off of Jones. He looks shooken up, and also down on the play is Dunham.
I think it went like right off the hands of Elijah Dunham. He got fisted in on him, and then it looked like it got the wrist of Hayden Jones.
Yeah, did it seem like we didn't hear like it hit a bat?
It was just a weird play all around.
Yeah, and Jones seems to be shooken up a little bit, and Greg Zackerson's coming out to talk to Schmeltz, but also to give Jones some time behind the plate as he's going to come out and talk to Zackerson and Schmeltz as well on the mound.
Yeah, Elijah Dunham fell down too during that.
Yeah, he was almost corkscrewed on the play, but I think it was probably because it came in, and I think it hit him on the hands while he was swinging.
And it's funny, we were talking about that in between innings. It's a foul ball.
If it hits you on the hands.
I mean, he swung anyways.
He swung, yeah, but even if it does hit you on the hands, you were saying it's a foul ball, which is interesting.
Yeah, we had a situation like that against Mystic last night. The Schooners catcher, Jerry Hunsinger, got drilled right in the hand and squared him up, but he was holding the bat. The hands are considered an extension of the bat.
And so not a lot of baseball fans may know that because they would just think, it's your hand, you should be hit. And so you're awarded first base, but it's technically part of the bat there. Nonetheless, here, he did go around anyways, and so strike one to Dunham. It's now the 0-1. Fastball is going to be broken back, grounded over to Bellini at second. He flips to James, who bares-handed for out number 3, but one run does come across for the Waves in the second off of one hit batter and a pair of walks as they leave the bases loaded. Heading into the home half of the second, Ocean State leads 2-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 2-0. Waves on top of the goals here in the bottom of the second, as it will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for Newport. Stephen Huff alongside Tim Joyce as Trevor Pittman still on the mound for Ocean State. He blows a fastball right by Justin Henry Malloy for strike one.
Yeah, he's really taken the league by storm here since he's arrived here in Newport. 346 with 16 RBIs already.
Yeah, Malloy having an excellent season so far for Newport. He calls time at the plate. 4 home runs to his name, and what I love about him, 21 walks to just 23 strikeouts.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was looking at his stats preparing for this game, and for somebody who's hitting that many home runs, driving in runs at such a rapid rate, normally you see him strike out probably double the times they walk, but that strikeout-to-walk ratio is about even.
Yeah, very patient, disciplined hitter at the plate, but he's going to swing through this fastball in the outer half. 1-2 now. We were talking, he watched breaking ball miss up. Was 1-1, but pitch now 1-2. But Pittman working early and often here against the goals. This 1-2 is going to be popped up towards the right side, but out of play into the stands here at Cardines. Count remains 1-2.
It's actually right next to all the Waves interns who made the trip from Old Mountain Field.
Of course, I didn't think I'd get to see them again.
Yeah.
I've already been over there 3 times. Now that 1-2. Fastball up in the zone, swung on and missed from Malloy for strike 3. Third strikeout for Pittman on the day, 3rd strikeout in a row. Yeah, I've made the trip down to Old Mountain Field 3 times, so you'll be up here tonight and then one more time, and then our Pell Bridge series is wrapped up for the summer.
If we're lucky, we'll be in a playoff game or a playoff series.
It's not out of the realm of possibility
Certainly
just yet.
not.
Now Hayden Jones settles in. First pitch missing low and away.
Yeah, the Waves control their destiny with the loss to Danbury. Should the Waves win, they'll only be, I believe, two or three games out of a playoff spot.
So now this 1-0 is going to be grounded over to Osberg at second. He flips it over to first in time for out number 2.
And the Waves still have 2 more against the Westerners. They're done with the Schooners. They have 2 more against the Westerners, and 1 more after tonight against the Gulls, and 2 more against the Bay Sox.
I think the Gulls will have 1 more against the Bay Sox, 1 more against the Waves, and then 1 more against the Westerners, and 1 more against the Vineyard.
They have
2 more against the Vineyard.
We have 1 more against Martha's Vineyard.
As that first pitch misses, catches the bottom edge of the zone to Bellini on 1. Gulls have to go to the Vineyard 1 more time, and then the Vineyard will come here 1 more time as well. Now this 0-1 fastball is going to be lined into center, and sliding on the play is Simone. He can't get it. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Bellini is at second. He's going to go to third. The throw on the play is going to be not in time. So Bellini is aboard with a 2-out triple.
Yeah, I'm just not really sure what Joe Simone was doing there. Yeah, it'd be nice to make a diving play, but it was such a spacious outfield with that deep corner out in center field. I think if he plays it off the hop, it's a single.
And especially with 2 outs, it seems like if you play it a little bit more cautious there, you give up a single, and then you can just go from there and get out of this inning possibly with no damage done. But nonetheless, he does slide and can't come away with the play, and there's a runner 90 feet from scoring for the Gulls as Austin James settles in, watching first pitch hit the plate for ball 1. Now, Simone is a great center fielder for the Ocean State Waves. This is the first maybe mistake I've seen all season from him, and we're in the 5th game between these two teams as this 1-0 fastball comes in under the armpits of Austin James.
Yeah, Simone's really the only Waves true center fielder, and we saw him make some dazzling defensive plays in the last few games during this win streak.
Now this 2-0 is going to be blasted. Simone going back in center at the wall, and he's underneath it for out number 3. So the Gulls can't play to run off of Bellini's triple. And they're stranding him at third off of 1 hit. No errors as they leave him stranded. Heading in to the 3rd. Waves still up 2-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Fans,
2-0. Waves lead here in the top of the 3rd as it will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for Ocean State. Facing off against Garrett Schmeltz out here for his 3rd inning of work. Xavier Vargas, Nick Elson, and John Cristino leading things off for the Waves. First time up for Xavier Vargas. RBI single coming from his bat in the 1st. And he's just been one of those guys. Was stellar this spring for the URI and 280 average coming into tonight with 2 home runs, but an excellent glove at first base as well.
I mean, he hit 300 for the Rams, and he's, in my opinion, I've seen most of the teams, he's the best defensive first baseman in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a game between these two teams. I think it was actually the last time I was there where he saved probably 3 or 4 runs between these two sides, and you never see that from a first baseman.
No, last night actually he had to play a throw. It was a little up the line.
Now that first pitch to Vargas misses low and in, 1-0.
And he switched his feet, and he actually caught it barehanded on the short hop. He wasn't going to get to it with his gloves, so he switched his feet. Great footwork over at first base, and almost caught it the way a righty would caught it, but with his bare hand.
Now that 1-0 to Vargas, misses up and in, 2-0. Yeah, I remember it was a game, Ocean State was struggling with some errors at the time, but one throw looked to be over the head that I don't know if any first baseman in the league was going to make, and he jumped up in the air and was able to glove it. As that 2-0 pitch catches the top edge of the zone, 2-1. Another play where I think he dove at the line and was able to snag it to save a double, maybe a triple for the Gulls.
Yeah, the coaching staff just raves about his footwork, and that's where infield defense starts, with your feet.
Now that 2-1's going to be grounded right back to Schmeltz off of 2 hops he fields and throws to first in time for out number 1. It caught Schmeltz off guard a little bit. Looked to be coming back at him faster than he thought it was, but he was able to glove it. Now there's one away here in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, it was just in on his hands, and it fooled Schmeltz a little bit.
And Schmeltz has been missing some of his spots early on. It would be up and in on lefties, up and away on righties. But because of that, if he can hone it down a little bit, it actually might work to his advantage. As that pitch misses outside of the righty Nick Elson. Because if he's able to hone it down a little bit, it's just going to be in on the hands on a lot of lefties, and there's a lot of lefties in this Waves lineup tonight.
Yeah, it's a very lefty-heavy lineup. Dylan Morton, another lefty, notably out of the lineup tonight.
It's that 1-0 pitch up and away, 2-0.
He's hitting 500 off lefties on the year.
So kind of surprising to see him out of the lineup tonight.
Yeah, well, I asked manager Brian Keehewitt about it. They're going for a defense for offense situation here. Your best defensive lineup that's available tonight is Will McGillis at shortstop and Ian Osberg at second base.
So now that 2-0 comes in, misses inside, 3-0.
Yep, Brett Helmkamp has the night off. He suffered a little bit of a groin strain against Martha's Vineyard, legging out a double. He played last night, but He went to plan and dive for a ball that was lost in the outfield and just didn't quite feel right, so we went to physical therapy today, but taking the night off.
So that 3-0 misses outside, so 4-pitch walk for Elson puts him aboard first, and with one away and a runner on first, that will bring up John Cristino. Of course, Cristino, in his first plate appearance, did work a walk in the second. Later came around to score. He represents the second run on the day for Ocean State. They lead 2-0 over the Gulls here in the top of the third.
I think it's interesting with Schmeltz. He has 4 walks in the year coming into today.
This one's going to be flown into right. Going back is Thomas looking up, and that ball is gone. Ocean State doubling their lead off the bat of John Cristino. They now lead 4-0.
Well, as I was saying, he has 4 walks coming in today. He has 5 today, but a great piece of hitting there by Cristino. We got a fastball on the outside half and took it to the short porch, only 283 out in right field. Most parks that it may get out, it may be a fly ball, but just a great piece of hitting there by Cristino, and he needed that. He's been due for a home run.
Yeah, and we talked about how potent this lineup could be, and we also talked about how humid this lineup, or how humid it is out here today, and the ball might carry, and we see evidence of it there. But it looks like Kevin Winterroad is out there for the Gulls meeting with Schmeltz, and he's going to have a call to the pen. We'll have more information on the new reliever for Newport coming up here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Third, and the Waves now lead 4-0 after that 2-run shot from John Cristino. As there's now a new pitcher on the mound for the Gulls. It's Mike Sansone, the lefty from Fairfield. This will be his 10th appearance on the year through 9 appearances. He has a 2.86 ERA, 22 innings pitched. He's given up 7 runs, all of them earned, off of 21 hits and just 2 walks. He has 24 strikeouts in those 22 innings pitched. This first pitch is going to be popped into left field. Coming in is Cavalieri, and he's there for out number 2, excuse me.
Yeah, that stat line for Sansone is absolutely insane. 24 strikeouts to just 2 walks and only allowing 21 hits.
Yeah, he's been quite incredible for the Gulls all season. When they need some outs out there on the field, whether they're, it's a close game or they have the lead to close the game out, or it's a close game and they just need to stay in it. He's been one of the go-to guys for them. And with this one, 4-0, they don't want it to get out of hand, and so they're going to him today. He's a guy that, likes to work inside on a lot of righties, and with that fastball slider combo can be really hard on lefties as well. As that first pitch, fastball over the heart of the plate to Osper, going 1. Sansone looking on. 0-1 pitch. Another fastball, this one on the outer half, 0-2. Last time out for Sansone was against the Mountaineers. Went 4 innings pitched, gave up a run. It was not earned as that pitch misses low, 1-2. Gave up 4 hits, did not walk anybody, did not strike out anybody.
Whole Waves infield thought that was strike 3. I mean, the whole Gulls infield, excuse me.
Yeah, just about everyone was walking off. It's now the 1-2. It's going to be grounded past Sansone on the mound. James has it at short. Throw to first in time for out number 3. But the Waves doubled their lead in the third off of a 2-run shot from John Cristino. They now lead 4-0 heading into the bottom half of the third inning here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the third. Waves lead 4-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And since it's the bottom of the third, I'm going to send it over to Nick Bello to take us around the league and fill us in on some scores.
Thank you, Steven. So we have a doubleheader between
this first pitch to Greg Cavalieri. He's in there for strike 1.
New Bedford and Danbury. New Bedford takes both games 4-3 in the first one, 7-4 off a walk-off home run, as we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast.
So there's a 1 pitch missing low. 1-1 to Cavalieri.
In the second game, Vineyard and Winnipesaukee has been rescheduled. North Adams leads Sanford 3-0 in the top of the third. Upper Valley, Vermont.
Now this 1 pitch swung on and missed at a pitch at the bottom edge of the zone. 1-2 now.
Are in a delay. Pause for dramatic effect. And then Keene and Valley has been rescheduled. And then, of course, here in Newport, 4-0 Ocean State.
That 1-2 pitch missed outside to Cavalieri, 2-2. And we also have some bad weather looming. Looks to be some rain and thunderstorms in the forecast as that 2-2 pitch swung on and missed for Cavalieri. 4 strike 3, 4th strikeout on the day for Trevor Pittman. Of course, you were saying, Nick, we have some rain coming pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, I've been told 25 minutes, and that was probably about 10 minutes ago. So, what was that?
That would be 15 minutes.
15.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain's working a little slow today, folks. It's the humidity.
We'll cut you a break as the lineup flips over now for the Gulls. First pitch swinging is Hudson Haskin. He's going to line this one into left in front of Elson, and he is now aboard with the 1-out single.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter that Valley and Vermont game is supposed to, or the Upper Valley and Vermont game is supposed to start about 8 o'clock, so fairly soon.
We will keep our eyes on that as we will turn to Nick later in the game for an update as the night goes on.
If our game continues.
Hopefully it will.
Hopefully.
Now with the runner on first, that will bring up Isaiah Thomas, his first time up.
Saw some lightning off in left field.
We'll have to keep our eye on that as well. As if it does get too close, they will obviously have to call the game. Thomas singled his first time up and stole second, where he was later stranded. As Pittman throws over to first, but back in time is Haskin. Haskin is a threat to steal, although Thomas is the fastest on the team. Haskin does lead the team for the Gulls in stolen bases with 13. Runner does take off for second. The throw down is not going to be in time. It was throw actually beat Haskin, but Osberg couldn't handle it. Popped out of his glove, and so Haskin is now aboard second and in scoring position for the Gulls.
Yeah, it was one of those where he tried to put the tag on too quickly and just came out of his glove.
So Gulls trail 4-0 here in the bottom half of the third. Runner in scoring position for Isaiah Thomas. Breaking ball in there for strike one. Count now 1-1. Righty on righty matchup for Pittman on the mound. Thomas hitting .345 coming into tonight. 5 doubles and 3 home runs. That pitch is going to skip in front of the plate. Nice block there from Cristino, and Haskin is forced to stay at second. Count now 2-1 to the Vanderbilt outfielder. On the 2-1. Thomas offering at it and popping it up behind the screen. Looked to be something off speed. Thomas caught out in front and didn't seem too happy that he didn't get all of that one. That seemed like a pitch he might want back.
Yeah, it was a hanging breaking ball over the plate. He was just a little bit under it. It ended up going back out of play.
So the count now even at 2. Pittman looking on out of the stretch on the 2-2, fouled back. Thomas hit .368 this spring for Vanderbilt. Now, as we said, .345 this summer for the Gulls. And you mentioned earlier, might be one of the best hitters in the NECBL.
Yeah, it certainly is just a raw potential player.
Now this 2-2 swinging and missing is Thomas. Fastball blown right by him. 5th strikeout of the day for Pittman on the mound, and he is just dealing out there.
Yeah, that was power on power right there, and Pittman was able to blow it by Thomas, a fastball you rarely see him miss.
So that will bring up Chris Hamilton, first baseman from Stony Brook. He was the first strikeout victim of the day. Righty on lefty matchup for Pittman on the mound. First pitch to Hamilton. He watches fastball miss up for ball 1.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the fact that we're sitting a little bit closer, but Trevor Pittman looks to be throwing a little bit harder than usual today.
Yeah, he's certainly bringing the heat with that fastball. You could probably hear the pop in the glove. That 1-0 fastball misses low for ball 2.
Yeah, most of the Waves pitchers are between 88 and 91, 92. C.J. McKinnon probably throws the hardest. He sits about 93, 94. But Pittman looks to be right up there, 92, 93 today.
I was going to say, consistently, I would guess low 90s, 92, 93. That was something off speed, probably missing outside. 3-0. And when he's missing his spots, too, even though he's down 3-0 in this count, he's not missing by much either.
Now, the thing to me, he hasn't walked a batter on the day, and that's been his bugaboo all year.
Yeah, he's had excellent command as this 3-0 pitch, Hamilton taking for strike one.
I thought you were about to curse him there, Tim. I thought you were about to do the old broadcaster's
Yeah,
curse.
the old broadcaster's jinx. I've only done it twice this year.
Now this 3-1. It is low for ball four, so Pittman can blame Tim Joyce for that one. That will put Chris Hamilton aboard first.
See, I wouldn't quite consider it that because, you know, it was the pitch after, it wasn't directly afterwards.
There are now runners on first and second for the Gulls. That will bring up Brett Vosick. He's another strikeout victim. Struck out to end the first for Newport. It's his first pitch. He's swinging and lines it back into the screen, 0-1.
I think this is the most important hitter of the day so far for Pittman. If he can get Vosick here, there's the best threat the Gulls have had. So if he can get him here, it'll be a huge out for the Waves to get him out of the inning.
Yeah, and on the flip side, this is a chance for momentum for the Gulls, down 4-0. But with two runners on and a meat of the order up, as Vosick watches this one drop into the zone 0-2. It's a chance to get the wheels turning a little bit. Especially with what could be a shortened game here tonight. Now there's 0-2. Another breaking ball. This one just missing outside. 1-2.
Yeah, the Waves had a chance of their own. They thought it was strike three.
Yeah, we saw that last inning with the Gulls, and then we see the Ocean State infield nearly walking off there. Now this 1-2. Fastball missing up and away. 2-2. Vosick over his last 4 games, hitting .412 for the Gulls. So a guy that's been heating up as of late. 7 for his last 17 with 3 RBI and 4 runs scored. Now the 2-2. This one missing low. Count now full.
Some good takes here by Vosick. It's very easy, you know, when you fall behind 0-2, to start swinging at everything.
That is something. He has such a good eye at the plate as well. As this payoff pitch misses up for ball 4, and that is Vosick's 15th walk of the season. He's third on the Newport team, and it's at-bats like that that really blow you away because he can hit for average and for power, but the disciplined at-bats with a good feel for the zone is what makes him such a complete hitter for Newport.
Yeah, and the even bigger thing about that, I think it brings up the very dangerous Justin Henry Malloy.
You bring up a great point because, you know, you have a gauntlet of Thomas, Hamilton, Vosick, and to have it capped off with Malloy right behind all of them. And in this situation, bases loaded for Newport, for Malloy. He has 4 home runs on the year, hitting .347, we talked about earlier. Out even walk to strikeout ratio. So this first pitch to Malloy, breaking ball, dropping beneath the zone, 1-0.
It'll be interesting to see the perseverance here from Pittman. He's walked 2 straight, and he's one of those guys, once he starts to walk, the wheels start to fall off the wagon. So I think if he can battle back here, it'll be a huge confidence booster for him.
Be a righty-on-righty matchup for Pittman on the mound. Thomas on third, Hamilton on second, Vosick on first. 1-0 fastball in there for strike 1.
If I were Pittman, 2 outs here, I'd start throwing low, trying to get a grounder.
Yeah, I think if you're going to miss, you have to miss low.
It's out. 1-1 breaking ball. That one started in, then dropped over the heart of the plate. 1-2. Pittman looking on. On the 1-2. That one skips in front of the plate. Another nice block there from Cristino. Count now even at 2. So he's shown 2 fastballs in this count and 2 breaking balls. Malloy hasn't offered at anything just yet. Now the 2-2, another fastball. This one's lined into left. Coming on is Elson and making a diving play to end the inning for the Gulls. So they can't score any as they leave the bases loaded heading into the fourth. The Gulls still trail the Waves 4-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's the top of the fourth as the Waves lead 4-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Stephen Huff joined alongside the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello. And since it's the fourth inning, I'm going to send it over to my broadcast partner, Tim. Tim, take it away.
Well, thank you, Stephen. An excellent diving play by Nick Elson to end the bottom of the third inning. A ball which I think if that gets by him, it's 3 runs, if not 4, for the Gulls.
Yeah, I mean that's a risky play there from Elson. You're certainly right. 3 runs are probably scoring for the Gulls, and Malloy is probably thinking, heading for third certainly, but might be a little bit greedy in tying this one up.
Well, it'll be the leadoff man, Joe Simone, to get the fourth inning started. Sansone back out on the bump. First pitch driven deep into right field. It'll go off the warehouse, though, for strike 1.
And he really certainly, got the barrel of the bat on that one, just a little bit out in front. But if that one ends in the corners, then Waves are tacking on, in this inning already, leading this one off with a double there.
Yeah. So it's 0-1 on Simone. Lefty on lefty matchup. Sansone comes set at the letters. Kicks, delivers a breaking ball, taken ball 1. If you're just tuning in, it's 4-0 Waves here at here at Cardines Field. Had a 5-game homestand.
You've been treated.
Yeah. Well, it was family week, so.
Right.
Scheduling gods working in our favor. As the 1-1 taken up and outside. 2-1.
Do you guys have a nasty road trip coming up then?
Yeah, we only have 3 home games left, and one of those is technically away. It's a front end of a doubleheader at Valley of the 11 games left.
Wow, so you guys are going to be on the road quite a bit then.
Mm-hmm. 2-1 to Simone. Taken in the dirt, ball 3. 3-1 now. Simone, a rising senior for a rider, the Broncos, out in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. So Sansone comes to the set at the letters. Gets the sign from Jones. Kicks, delivers. Breaking ball driven deep into center field. Haskin is back at the wall. He will make the catch for the first out of the inning. As soon as Joe Simone hit that, a flash of lightning.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, he cracked some thunder into the air, and the Lightning responded because of it. That ball, it seemed like off the bat, had a chance to leave. And
same one with the one that Austin James hit in the second.
A couple of these balls, seem like they're going to be leaving the park. That one just caught up a little bit too long, but we talked about it at the top of the broadcast. It's muggy out here, very humid, and the ball will travel quite a bit.
It'll be Garrett Hodges. Now he grounds a ball. A diving play by Bellini, but it'll get under his glove. Hodges takes a big turn around first, but the right fielder, Thomas, gets it into the infield to hold Hodges to a single.
Yeah, and that's just a hard, sharp grounder, and Bellini, natural shortstop, and so may not be completely comfortable playing second base, but I'm not going to hold that one against him. It was just a well-hit, hard-hit ball there from Hodges, able to get aboard with a one-out single.
Well, the sweet swinging righty, Casey Dana, up now. He's reached twice. He does not have an official at-bat, though. He's 0-for-0 with a walk and a hit by pitch. First pitch from Sansone is popped up into the infield. Jones is back in front of the Gulls dugout. He drops it. I think he was out of play anyway, so he was behind the screen there where Kevin Winterroad and James Sorrow are. So
yeah, that's interesting. We haven't seen that happen all season. I don't know if that technically would be an out, because we've seen if the ball rolls out of play there, it's ruled out of play, and runners move up in that scenario.
Yeah, there's a white line, so I think it's dead ball territory.
Yeah, so I think you're absolutely right.
But I think he had 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and as long as you have a foot out, it still counts as an out. I know the high school field I played at, there was a very shallow first base foul territory, and you could have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Pitch to Dana's popped up. Foul, Hamilton over. It'll get out of play, though, onto the streets behind Cardines Field.
And you're seeing Dana chase a lot of these pitches up in the zone. Unable to lay off just yet. A little bit behind on all of them, but if he's able to catch up, might be some dangerous territory for Sansone and the Gulls, because Dana has a lot of power to his bat.
Yeah, he really does. He has 5 home runs on the year that is good enough to lead the Waves.
Better flash of lightning, right.
So the pitch from Sansone, breaking ball, it's chopped, fielded on 3, hopped by the shortstop. James throws to second for 1, thrown on to first, not in time. A great play by Austin James. I didn't think they were going to have a chance of turning two there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really thought, because it was so softly hit, James was in on the grass by that time. I thought the only play was going to be at first, but James threw to second. It looked to be like a risky play, but with his prowess over there at short, was able to cut the lead runner off. Good play there for Newport.
Well, that brings up Elijah Dunham now, the rising junior for the Indiana Hoosiers, was selected in the 40th round by the Pittsburgh Pirates. One of two Hoosiers selected in the 40th round. Sandstone throws over. Dana dives back in safely.
And what that does, it takes Garrett Hodges off the base pass. I mean, he's one of the fastest guys on the team for Ocean State. 15 stolen bases just to show, his speed out there.
Yeah, Dana not the fleetest of foot at first base. Hodges he does have 15 stolen bases, but he isn't the fastest wave. He's the far and away the best base runner. So we see in the first inning that base running mistake. Just because it was Garrett Hodges running the bases, I put that more on the third base coach for holding him up a little bit late, but Garrett Hodges is one of the smarter baseball players for the Waves. A breaking ball swung on and missed by Dunham up in the zone.
Yeah, and so I think, James opting not only for the lead runner, but also to take Hodges off the base pass and get him out of scoring position. It could be huge for the Gulls moving forward.
So it's 0-1 on Dunham as the red Indiana-style batting glove Sandstones picks over. Dana back in, standing up.
Now, it's interesting, though, because Sandstone is still giving Dana quite a bit of attention over there at first.
Well, we've seen he has a great pickoff move. He's just trying to keep him close because with two outs, you don't want him to try to go first to third. If you're the defenses, that's driven deep into left field. The left fielder, Cavalieri, is back. It's over his head. Casey Dana's around second. He's being sent from third. He's around third. He's motoring around third. Elijah Dunham is up. It'll be a play at the plate. He is out at the plate. A great relay by the Newport Gulls from Greg Cavalieri to Austin James to Hayden Jones at the plate. So another out on the base pass for the Waves. But Elijah Dunham does have a double, and the Waves strand one. They don't get any more. We'll be back on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Fans, the NECBL's Broadcast Network brings all of the action right to your home every night. Available on your...
Here at Cardines Field, it'll be Hayden Jones, Joey Bellini, and Austin James to lead it off for the Gulls, but a great defensive relay there. A ball that was hit over the head of Greg Cavalieri by Elijah Dunham. He picks it up at the wall, throws it to Austin James, who is about 5 steps out into the outfield, and James delivers a one-hop strike to Hayden Jones to get Casey Dana on a bang-bang play at home plate, a play in which he was out.
Yeah, and that's why you practice that pregame. We've seen the Gulls every single game practicing their relay throws to the plate, and it's paid off for them here.
Well, the first pitch from Pittman to Jones is swung on a miss, and I think it's funny. They didn't take IO today.
I know.
With the rain. The one day they don't take IO.
The one day they don't, and it pays off for them.
Well, it's 0-1 on Jones, the catcher from Mississippi State. That's chopped foul off the Waves dugout on the first base side.
We have to talk to Jim Sorrow because he's normally the one who's running IO. We're talking about that.
Yeah, neither team took IO. I know the coaching staff had a deal with the Waves. So you win 3 games in a row, you don't have to take IO.
Well, here's the thing with Sorrow. Knowing how superstitious he is, now they're not going to take IO any other day.
Yeah, the former manager of the Waves, we certainly know about all his superstitious habits.
Didn't you talk to him today, Steven?
I did. Now, here's the thing with Sorrow. He claims...
That's driven deep into right field by Jones. Hodges is over, though. A step in front of the wall makes the catch.
And we could talk about this, especially if we hit a rain delay superstitions, but Sorrow, so here at Newport, we do a lot of pregame interviews. We do a whole pregame show.
It's another flash of lightning comes down.
And so I always get a coach to talk to every game. Sorrow claims every time I talk to him, the team doesn't hit. And so, of course, I'm the one to blame for this. It's my fault. And so I asked him, Coach, can I get an interview today? He said, no, it's a big game. I got to get hits today.
Well, the first pitch from Pittman, a breaking ball, drops over the top of the zone to the second baseman, Bellini.
And I said, well, I can't get Kevin Winterode again. I just talked to him. I'm not going to get Zacharson. I talked to him 2 days ago.
Breaking ball in the dirt, smothered by Cristino.
Coach, it's your turn. You got to be kidding me. It's not my fault that, the hits don't come every now and then. That's just baseball. He said, no, I'm not talking to you. So then I had to go get Kevin Winterode again.
Well, a breaking ball again, 3 straight breaking balls. This one taken for another strike, 1-2.
But here's why I don't think he's right. The other night against North Adams, I talked to him. Team had 17 hits. and he doesn't believe me.
Well, the fourth straight breaking ball misses up and in, excuse me. And to each his own, everybody has their own superstition.
Right, and it's crazy because I think baseball is the sport with the most superstitions.
Absolutely is. That's driven deep into left field. Elson is over a few steps in front of the track. High Major League fly ball. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. 2 quick outs now for Austin James.
So last year the team was so superstitious. I'm pretty sure they had a little Buddha statue in
Really?
the dugout somewhere. Yeah.
Really?
It's like Major League style.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, I know. Sorrow for the Waves only hit IO twice last year, and the team started 0-2, so we stopped hitting IO after that.
I'm telling you, I mean, because that relay worked out for them, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't from here on out.
Well, it's another breaking ball. Flared into shallow right field. Xavier Vargas is back. He makes the catch. A nice running grab for Xavier Vargas. So a quick inning for Trevor Pittman. Only needed 7 pitches, but we'll be right back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Cardinals Field on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Mike Sansone is out for his second full inning of work for the Newport Gulls. I'm Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, accompanied here by Stephen Huff, the voice of the Newport Gulls, and the Gulls field reporter, Nick Bello. It's a 4-0 lead for the Waves here in the top of the 5th inning. We need one more full inning here for it to be an official game, so just 6 more outs.
Yeah, and of course, you know, we talked about those storms, and there's a little bit of lightning out in the distance, but it's not close enough to actually call the game so far, at least put on a delay.
Should the game be delayed, it'll be a half hour for every lightning strike. Half-hour delay. So the first pitch to Xavier Vargas, a ground ball foul down the first base line past TJ Lynch, the Waves first base coach.
Vargas, of course, had that big RBI single in the first to open the scoring.
Yeah, they got this, as you said, Stephen, got the scoring started for the Waves. It played to Joe Simone. So it's 0-1 on Vargas. Pitch misses up and in.
And what I love about Vargas, too, not only we talked about his defensive success, but also his success at URI this spring. Led the team in average, hits, and RBI. This guy can really swing the bat at the plate.
Well, the 1-1 taken outside, 2-1. And Vargas, a Woodhaven, New York native. Wears number 13 for the Waves in their navy blue away jerseys with the ocean blue lettering as he takes a strike. Count runs even, 2-2. On the year for the Waves, hitting .280 with 11 RBIs. 2 home runs to his credit.
And he's hitting .389 against lefties, too. And so some reverse splits for everyone in the lineup tonight for the Waves.
Well, it's fouled back into the screen. Yeah, a lot of the Waves do have reverse splits. Joe Simone hits .538 off of lefties. Dylan Morton coming in, not in the lineup, but hitting .500 off of lefties. Cullen Smith, their recent departure, was hitting .400 plus against lefties. So a lot of reverse splits on the left-handed side for the Waves.
Yeah, not exactly what you'd expect, but that just shows, how talented and deep this lineup can be for Ocean State.
Well, the 2-2 again to Vargas. Sansone kicks, delivers a breaking ball on the outside half. In the dirt, 3-2 now. Another flash of lightning. We haven't heard any thunder yet.
Yeah, none of it so
No,
far.
not at all. Kind of weird.
So the payoff pitch, Sansone kicks, delivers a fastball fouled off into the bus depot down the third baseline.
And we've been pretty fortunate to miss some rain, too. And we had some sprinkles a little bit earlier when you went and actually got some food. It was spitting a little bit as you came back. But after that, pretty much missed everything so far.
Yeah, and the temperatures really dropped here significantly. This is the payoff pitch again from Sansone. Taking ball 4 in the outside corner. A great at-bat by Xavier Vargas to earn the leadoff walk.
Yeah, and so we talk so much about, his average and his power and his defense, but, we neglected to talk about sometimes he can be so patient at the plate and really, work a walk out there, and that's just another characteristic of a good hitter, and Vargas really can be just a complete player out there, and he shows it in that at-bat.
Yeah, he is a great hitter. He's a really mature hitter. He doesn't really chase pitches outside of the zone. He's one of those guys where if he doesn't swing at it, he knows it's a ball. And It's where he can kind of get caught strikeout looking, but pitch to Elson, a fastball cut on. I missed a big swing there from the left fielder out of Kent State. Or sometimes that can kind of come back to bite him when maybe an umpire's getting a ball or two off of the plate, but Xavier Vargas, again, a real mature hitter. So it's 0-1 on Elson. Sansone checks, kicks, delivers. Fastball taken outside. 1-1.
And Sansone now facing a righty at the plate. This is when I expect him to work a little bit more inside on some guys. This is where he thrives on the mound. Fastball expected inside on the hands on Elson.
Yeah, I believe the Waves have yet to see Sansone on the year.
Yeah, and he's been the go-to guy for the Gulls out of the bullpen.
A big hack there from Elson again, 1 and 2. Yeah, if you look at Sansone's stats, he's last 2 outings, he's thrown 4 innings, not necessarily in mop-up duty, but in kind of leveraging after a pitcher hasn't really gone the starting pitcher hasn't gone the amount of innings that Kevin Winterroad has hoped for. But the 1-2 to Elson, a breaking ball cut on him is strike 3.
So that's the first strikeout of the day for Sansone. And once he starts to settle into that rhythm on the mound, that's when he starts to rack up those strikeout numbers. And I'm not surprised to see it come against one of the first righties he's faced on the day, and wouldn't be surprised to see, him start to rack up more of those strikeout numbers. But it'll be interesting. Cristino out there who hit the home run against him. It'll be interesting to see how he responds facing him a second time.
Well, the rain's starting to fall here at Guardians. Pitch taken for a strike on the inside corner.
And check that. That's actually the first time he's facing Cristino. Schmeltz gave up the home run, and so this is the 9th batter now Sansone is facing.
Time being called here. So the fans ducking for cover.
We were just talking about how we haven't been hit with rain, and talk about broadcasters curse right there.
It was you this time.
I've noticed the broadcasters' jinx nights have been a little bit delayed.
Yeah, like the 1 or 2 pitches after we bring it up is the fastball, a big cut there from Cristino, fouled back into the padding.
So it's not an official game yet if there is a delay, but it's just not hard rain yet, just coming down lightly, and so they're still playing on.
No, I think the Waves are going to, hopefully they want to get out of this inning and then get out of the next inning quickly, so should the game be put in a delay, it'd be an official game. The Gulls not trying to prolong it, but don't necessarily want it to end right here. Well, a fastball at the eyes. Cristino does not offer it. Checks his swing. Because now if the game can't be continued tonight, they'll have to start over from scratch in the first inning because it is not yet an official game.
So that's interesting, and I'm assuming that not that many off days left.
As that's fly into the infield. Bellini 2 steps back onto the outfield grass. Is under it for the second out of the inning.
I don't know your guys' schedule, but it might just have to be a scheduled doubleheader on the last day that we see you guys. But I know we have an off day tomorrow and then one on Sunday. But other than that, not that many left on the year.
Yeah, the Waves only have 3 off days left. It's the 21st, the 21st, and then 28th, which is the All-Star game, and then the 29th.
The 21st is Sunday, correct?
Yes, it is. As the first pitch to McGillis is taken inside for a strike.
And so that may work between the two sides, especially because it is such a close trip for them. And it actually would be suspended and then continued where we left off.
As that's a little dribbler fielded by Sansone. Kicks, throws to first. Chris Hamilton holds the bag for the out. A late call there from Levante Palmer, but Hamilton is able to hold the bag on the inside corner to get the speedy Will McGillis. So after a leadoff walk, the Gulls get the next 3 outs. We'll be right back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back here at Guardians Field, there's a new pitcher for the Waves. It'll be Peyton Dietz, the left-hander out of Kent State University. On the year for the Waves. Has appeared in 11 games. This would be his 12th, the 2.70 ERA. He's thrown 13 in the 3rd inning, 17 strikeouts to just 5 walks. Opponents are only hitting 236 off of him, so a good lefty out of the pen for the Waves. The final line on the other Kent State Golden Flash, Trevor Pittman. He went 4 innings, 3 hits, did not allow a run. He walked 2 and struck out 5. So a great start there by Trevor Pittman. One the Waves really needed after having to tax the bullpen a little bit last night, excuse me.
Yeah, and like you said, that's exactly what you want out of your starter. To go 4 innings tonight, but to only give up 3 hits, didn't give up a run, and strike out 5 in those 4. You couldn't have asked for anything more.
Yeah, and to only walk 2, I think, was the biggest thing the Waves were looking for.
Especially with a guy that struggled with walks on the year.
Yeah, he had 16 walks in 16 innings as the first pitch to Cavalieri. Flips over, hitting from the right side for the first time. Then he struck out on the left side in his first at-bat against Pittman. Takes another fastball from Dietz outside.
And you could just see it from Dietz, a live fastball coming out of there.
In Martha's Vineyard, TrackMan only had him 84, 86, but I think that was wrong. As that misses outside again. To the naked eye, he looked mid to low 90s.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
And maybe, you know what, the Vineyard just got TrackMan, and so maybe it was adjusting a little bit. But
well, the 3-0 taken for a strike, and I spoke to Dietz actually in the Waves office the day after. He was saying he felt like, to him, he felt like he was throwing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and sometimes it may look like that as well.
Well, the pitch misses high. A 5-pitch walk to lead off the inning for the Gulls.
And that's exactly why Greg Cavalieri's out there. He's hitting .357 on the year, but can work walks as well. Just your typical leadoff guy, but they have him in the 9-hole to be that table setter, work as a second leadoff guy in the lineup, and he works the leadoff walk. He's now aboard first for the lineup flipping over.
Well, that flips it over, as you said, Steven, for the leadoff man, Hudson Haskin. Takes a pitch on the inside corner for a ball. 1-0 again. Peyton Dietz struggling to find the zone here. It's just his 6th walk of the year he's allowed. So the 1-0 to Haskin. Taken for a strike. A breaking ball this time. Dietz just finished up his redshirt season. His redshirt freshman season for the Golden Flashes. Worked pretty much exclusively out of the bullpen. Only started 4 games. Those were midweek games, of course. Time is called late by Will Bowers.
Yeah, and you, as a pitcher, Dietz isn't going to like that, late call from home plate, so he just went through with his windup, which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I like when the home plate umpire usually points at who calls time. That's grounded up the middle. Fielded by McGillis, throws on to second, gets the double play. Osberg throws on to first. He is safe at first base, so the Waves get 1, but they do retire the speedy Cavalieri at second.
Yeah, with that play, an exit play up the middle there for the Waves, middle infield, but with Haskin running, it's going to be tough to double anyone up there for the Gulls because he has so much speed on the base pass. There's a reason he leads the team in stolen bases, and so with that play up the middle, it's just almost impossible to double him up.
So that brings up Isaiah Thomas. Takes a ball alone away from Dietz.
And if you're the Gulls, this is who you want up at the plate in Isaiah Thomas, one of the best hitters on your team, one of the best as of late, the best as of late.
Pitch misses inside to Thomas.
And so this is a guy that can really start to move some runners along and bring some pop at the plate. And then following him, it's just the heart of the order, and Hamilton, Vosick, and Malloy start to turn things around for Newport.
Well, the 2-0. Fastball misses up and away, 3-0.
But now, with it being a 3-0, Gulls are just going to be patient at the plate. Dietz has struggled with command early on, already walked Cavalieri to start the inning. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Gulls just be taking some pitches.
Well, it's taken, as you said, Steven, for a strike on the outside corner. The count is 3-1. And they're righty out of Vanderbilt, the North Palm Beach, Florida native. So 3-1, Dietz checks the runner. Pauses, kicks, delivers. Fastball. It's grounded to the third baseman, Dana. Goes to second for 1. Osberg, no throw, on for 2.
Yeah, and that's just another situation for the Waves where another, it's a 3-1 situation that Thomas is going to have the green light and swinging. Just rolled over the top of it, ground ball over the Dana. Nice play from him to turn to second for 1 out, but with Thomas's speed, he is the fastest player on Newport, so you're not going to get 2. So smart play, just being conservative, getting the lead runner, and being okay with getting just one out. Now there's two away here in the bottom of the fifth.
Brings up the lefty first baseman, Chris Hamilton, takes a ball outside from Dietz. It was a good play by Dana to get it back on the long hop. I think he stayed true on it. He would have got an in-between hop, and that's the toughest hop to field as an infielder.
Yeah, he stayed back on it, as you said, and the throw to second, he didn't have much urgency on it.
As Dietz misses low and away. I think that was by design. I think he's just trying to get the lead out. If you get Thomas, you get Thomas, but get that lead runner in Haskin at second base.
You're exactly right. Even if you rush the throw, there's still not the best chance in the world you're going to double up Thomas.
It's taken for a strike by Hamilton. The famous phrase is, be sure of the first one. And I think that's what Dana was going for there.
Yeah, and especially with a 4-run lead. That's the smart play, and that's the absolute right play there from Dana.
Well, it's a big cut there from Hamilton. Missed, though.
I mean, I agree. It's better to get one than none.
So the count is 2-2. 2 outs here with Isaiah Thomas at first base. The lefty Hamilton, lefty on lefty matchup. The pitch from Dietz. Taken for a ball outside. Count is full. Thomas will be off with the pitch with 2 outs. Xavier Vargas doesn't even hold him on anymore. So Dietz kicks, delivers. Thomas is off. Taken low, ball 4. Peyton Dietz thought that was strike 3. A very close pitch there, not given.
Yeah, and it was a good pitch. You know, like you said, just missing low. And on a 3-2 pitch, you can't get much better than that.
No.
You don't want to come over the plate with something that's too hittable there for Hamilton. And so that could have been easily a strike 3 pitch, but just beneath the knees for ball 4. Now runners on first and second for the Gulls.
It was a great take, as you said, by Hamilton. The pitch really hasn't been a strike all night in Will Bowers' zone, as the first pitch to Vosik is fouled off the bunting down the third base line. And all you can ask out of an umpire is consistency.
Yeah, and I think he's been incredibly consistent all night.
Cut on him, missed a slider there that was in on the hands of Vosik. Be interesting to see what Peyton Dietz and John Cristino have on their minds for this 0-2 pitch. You could spike a breaking ball. You could go high with a fastball. Runner and Thomas is off. Throw down to third. He is out at third base there. Not sure what. There was no signal from the umpire, but the ball beat Thomas there.
I think we had signal from the home plate umpire.
Okay. Well, with that, the Gulls strain 1. We'll be right back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Guardians Field, we got a little bit of a clarification on the last play to end the bottom of the 5th inning, so it was actually a called strike 3 on Brent Vosik. That's why we had no signal from the base umpire.
Yeah, I think we all missed it up here in the booth. You know, we both were looking at the runner over there, taking off for third, and missed the strike 3 call. And so that's why there, as you said, was no call on Thomas over there at third. But Vosik was down on strikes, so no runs crossed for the Gulls as they leave 2 stranded.
Yeah, I think Thomas would have been out at third base anyways.
Yeah, certainly. So it doesn't really make a difference for the Gulls based on, you know, who was out. But next up, leading off for the Gulls will be Malloy next inning.
So it'll be Ian Osberg to lead it off for the Waves. Takes a breaking ball from Sanzone for a strike. 0-1. Crowd is certainly thinned out here at Cardines with the rain.
I think most of them are down the right field line, actually.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Ducking for cover from the rain.
Count is 0-1 on the lefty Osberg, the rising junior from Quinnipiac. Playing second base tonight, played first base for the Bobcats this year. Takes another breaking ball, this time grounds it to the second baseman, Bellini. Bobbles a little bit. Throws on to first, though, for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and a good job there from Bellini. You saw his footwork get caught up a little bit and maybe just stumble a tad, and so then he got caught up and actually dropped the ball there, but nice job from sticking with it, able to pick it back up and throw to first for the first out here in the 6th.
Well, it's going to be Joe Simone, the center fielder. On the day, he's flown out to his counterpart in Haskin. Twice to center, both deep. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the first. That was on that Xavier Vargas single to get the scoring going today for the Waves. He takes a breaking ball from Sansone, started at his front hip and broke over the zone for a strike. So it's 0-1 on Simone. Sansone starting these two lefties off with breaking balls, pitching exclusively out of the stretch. A fastball there in the inside corner, strike two.
And it's interesting, as you point out, that he's starting off these lefties with breaking balls. Usually he goes for his fastball, early and often, but second time through the lineup that he's facing these guys, working a little bit backwards and going with those breaking balls early.
Yeah, he's had really good command of it. He's been able to start it at the front hip of a lefty and drop it into the zone. As it's a breaking ball there, it'll get under the glove of the pitcher. Thrown on by James to first, though. It'll not be dug out by Hamilton. Should go down as a base hit. It will be a base hit, an infield single for Joe Simone.
Yeah, and I went underneath the glove of Sansone, and James at shortstop behind the bag, nearly in center field, shallow center, and he had to rush the throw, didn't have time to plant his feet, and so you saw kind of a lobbed throw over. And with Simone's speed, there's just no chance, and because he didn't have his feet planted, the throw was a little off the mark as well. But Simone, he deserves the single all the way.
Yeah, we've seen him this year beat out routine ground balls to the shortstop where they just think it's a routine ground ball. They're taking their time as Sansone throws over. Simone flops back, and that wasn't a dive in safely.
Yeah, I think the correct term right there was flops back. It looked like he was diving off the diving board there.
Well, it brings up Garrett Hodges now. 321 on the year, raised his average 30 points after going 5 for 6. Sansone throws over again. Has 11 RBIs and 3 home runs. Hodges does not have a hit off Sansone on the year. So the first pitch, no, we will not see a first pitch. Joe Simone is picked off at first base. A great move there by Mike Sansone to get the speedy Joe Simone at first base.
That's the first pickoff we've seen from Sansone on the season, but that's just what he brings to the table being a lefty. We've seen him use that move on the year. He has a dummy move, and then he pulls out, that move that actually can get guys, and he pulls it out against Simone. Great move there from Sansone.
Well, the first pitch to Hodges, a breaking ball taken for a strike. Yeah, that wasn't the traditional lefty move where you see them. I think it's a balk move as a hitter, but as a hitter and a base runner, the lefties aren't going to tell you it's a balk, but he stepped off and just kind of took that back foot off and flicked it over. So pitch to Hodges, it's grounded foul. Just past the first base coach, Jordan Lux.
And it's interesting because one of the new rules in the Atlantic League is actually pitchers have to step off the rubber now.
Oh, really?
To make a pickoff move.
Really? I knew the robot umpire and the stealing first base.
Right. Another one of them is stepping off the rubber.
Can't say I'm a fan of that one. It's the 0-2 to Hodges, misses up and away. 1-2.
It'll be interesting to see how those ones play out.
Yeah, I can tell you I'm a fan of the stepping off for all pitchers.
Yeah.
I like to steal from first base now, too. At first
Once
I
you
was a little
saw it
skeptical.
play out.
Yep.
Well, the 1-2 to Hodges, taking a breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2. I can't say I agree with you on that one. I think the point of those rules aren't to really change the integrity of the game, and to me it changes the integrity of the game.
Yeah, I get that. But it's a little cool to see when you see it.
Oh, yeah. I know I saw the video on Twitter after the second half. Oh, the 2-2 to Hodges. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Down goes Garrett Hodges on strikes. So, after a single, Sansone faces the minimum and he picks the runner off. Waves getting on. We'll be right back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back here at Cardines, Peyton Dietz is out for his second inning of work. It'll be Justin Henry Malloy. Hayden Jones and Joey Bellini due up for the Gulls in the bottom of the sixth inning.
Malloy coming into this one hitting .347 on the season. Just been one of those guys for the Gulls that you can always turn to for offensive success. And against Mystic, hit the longest home run of the season that I've ever seen hit.
Really?
For Newport. And dead away center and went into the parking lot over there at Fitch High School.
That is a bomb there at Mystic. It is the first pitch to Malloy from Peyton Dietz is taken for a strike. I park in the parking lot in the center field there so I don't get hit.
And yeah, you think you're safe, not when Malloy's hitting, apparently.
Time is called.
There is a parking lot. A lot of people park on gravel to the left of the field. That one's not safe.
As the pitch misses out there from Peyton Dietz, I know the 2 times we've been there, Waves players have taken out the PA announcer's windshield.
Right. I didn't know that was you guys. Yeah. But, I mean, that place is dangerous over there. But then past center field.
Breaking ball misses high to Malloy.
And then up a hill a little bit is this big parking lot that we're talking about that's actually up towards the high school that you would think a ball never lands. But Malloy found a way to do so.
Well, that's a rope down the third baseline. It'll get past the glove by Casey Dana for a base hit. Justin Henry Malloy has his first hit of the day.
And you could see, even though that was just a single from him, just the raw power that he has. I mean, smokes that ball past Dana. Dana never stood a chance at that one. They call it the hot corner for a reason. And Malloy was on top of that one, just yanked it right past him into left field.
Well, the Waves actually have a connection to Malloy. Third base coach, president, owner, general manager, the jack of all trades, Eric Hirschbein-Bodner, was actually his trainer back in his hometown in New Jersey. He worked with him in the offseason, as that's taken for a strike to Hayden Jones, and he said he's one of the best baseball players he's ever worked with. Just an absolutely raw, strong, and powerful kid that can hit the ball at all fields.
Yeah, and on top of that, just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, too. So just one of the best all-around people to be around.
Dietz steps off. Yet that's really all you can ask for from a baseball player. You be a good baseball player, but you be a better person off the field.
Yeah, and I think, that's what makes him such an asset to the Newport Gulls, but also Vanderbilt. It seems like everyone they pump out,
as that's cut on and missed by Hayden Jones,
is just obviously a talented baseball player that could potentially make it in the pro someday, but just an even better person that is just going to give back to the community and just be an upstanding citizen.
Yeah, players like Dylan Morton come to mind as Peyton Dietz, Dylan Morton and Sam Lara. So we had a doubleheader up in Vermont. Game 1 didn't start until 6:30 p.m. and then we got on the bus at midnight home. We got back about 5 o'clock in the morning, and first thing in the morning about 10 o'clock is pitch to Hayden Jones's grounded foul down the third baseline. 9 o'clock in the morning, they're up at a fellow Waves host family's house helping them set up a pool.
Just, right.
Wow. You can't really ask anything else from guys like that.
Well, I think what's so incredible, going back to the Vanderbilt thing and former Newport goal.
As that's cut on a miss by Jones, strike 3.
Former goal J.J. Blade, hours after winning the national championship in Omaha with Vanderbilt, I'm talking 2 or 3 hours, he's back on the field at TD Ameritrade Park, helping the staff that's working at TD Ameritrade clean up.
Same thing with Steven Scott. I know he was there as well, the former Gull.
Exactly, and you don't see that with a lot of college kids or just anybody, but you're seeing that with a lot of these former Gulls and Vanderbilt guys, and it's incredible to see, and we're seeing it here with Justin Henry Malloy as well.
As Bellini takes a strike from Peyton Dietz, Tim Corbin really does a great job down there in Nashville. Not only recruiting great baseball players, but great people. And if you ask any college baseball coach, that's what they want is a ball in the dirt. Cristino blocks it up. He throws on to second, but it'll get into the outfield. Joe Simone has to dive to stop it from getting past him. No further advance from Malloy. It'll be a pass ball on John Cristino.
And how about the play effort there from Simone? I mean, obviously the throw from Cristino, another high one there from him as he tried desperately to throw out Malloy, but Simone laying out there in center field to cut that ball off. If he doesn't make that play, that's rolling to the wall. Malloy's getting to third easily, but probably scoring on that play as well.
Yeah, pitcher's BP is on the line for the Waves if they have a shutout. As that misses up and away to Bellini.
That'll be entertaining. You'll have to film that one.
Yeah, I'll be sure to send you a video. But they had a shutout against Martha's Vineyard, but I don't know if they forgot to take pitcher's BP or they just chose not to. But I know that's on the line. Is pitch to Bellini, called strike.
A few weeks ago, we do this thing called Ask Gull on Wednesdays, where we ask players just random questions. And one of the questions was, who would strike out in BP? So he could have a few strikeouts there.
Yeah, you might see some.
Who was the answer for that?
I think it was Scott Holzwasser. I think it was because Scott was in our view.
Okay. So that's actually a breaking ball almost in the dirt. It's fouled off, though, by Bellini.
Yeah, they said Scott Holzwasser was one of the guys that leads the team on average and is a consensus leadoff man for the Gulls, would strike out in BP.
I don't know.
But I think Scott invites it because he messes with everyone, and he's a guy that helps the dugout gel a little bit, and so everyone rags on him as well.
Pitch to Dietz. Pitch to Bellini from Dietz. Cut on and a miss. Strike 3. So 2 straight strikeouts after the leadoff single.
Another problem with Scott, though, is he's always sitting in the dugout while we're doing this, so we're looking right at him. He's an easy target. And he always has this look on his face like he's so innocent, and then someone says his name, he's like, what?
I don't know if the pitchers who would strike out for the Waves, a lot of them are two-way players or were two-way players at one point. I know C.J. McKinnon is a two-way player at Holy Cross, and Zach Schultz played. He was the Golden Flashes for Kent State, starting third baseman his freshman year as Dietz delivers a breaking ball over the plate for strike one.
On the flip side, you might find out some hidden gems and see some balls leave the park.
Not to step on any toes, if I had to guess it, I'd guess Kyle O'Neill or Seamus Brazil.
The 6'9", Brazil?
As that's fouled back over our heads. Well,
Brazil's 6'9", 250. I'm thinking if he barrels one up.
He didn't really hit in high school, though. He was,
Okay.
I'll have to double check that, but
Who was his high school coach? I'd definitely let him hit in high school. Are you kidding me? It's a lot of power in a man.
Well, Dietz checks the runner, kicks, delivers a ball into right field off the top of the warehouse, though.
So to touch on the topic of pitchers hitting, last year we ran out of fielders. We started putting pitchers in the outfield. So this could actually be something you guys might want to,
You might want to get ahead of the game a little bit because it might be possible towards the end of the year.
Yeah, he was not a hitter in high school. He was a straight pitcher. His team's MVP as a pitcher, though, was Brazil.
A lot of high schools do, obviously, DH.
Yeah, that's all I did this year. I didn't play the field once. So the pitch, it's grounded on 3 hops to the second baseman Osberg. Flips on to first for the out. So the Gulls strand one after a leadoff single by Justin Henry Malloy. We'll be back with the top of the 7th inning on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We're back here at Cardines. It's the top of the 7th inning, but that means it's my time to turn it back over to the voice of the Newport Gulls, Stephen Huff, for take us through the play-by-play for the rest of the way.
Thank you, Tim. It will be the 3-4-5 hitters due up for Ocean State. They will be facing off against Mike Sansone. Out there for another inning of relief for the Gulls. Lefty on righty matchup for Sansone on the mound, facing off against Dana the second time tonight. Sansone looking on first pitch to Dana. Is going to be driven into left. That one hooking foul. So 0-1, but looked like Dana got all of that one.
Yeah, I actually lost it off the bat just by the trajectory. I could tell it was going foul, but I couldn't quite see where that landed.
Yeah, he barreled it up, but just was a little bit ahead out in front. But it had home run power on it. It's now the 0-1. Look to miss outside, 1-1. It's the 4th full inning of work for Sansone. He's pitched 3 2/3 so far. Now this 1-1 fastball up and in on the hands of Dana. He backs off, 2-1. That's kind of what we expect out of Sansone, pitching up and in on righties.
Yeah, he's certainly not afraid to work in this. Not to say a lot of pitchers are afraid nowadays. They just don't want to miss in and then give up a home run.
Yeah, or even hit batters at times, too, if they don't have the command to pitch inside all the time. Now there's 2-1 coming in inside once again, but getting Dana to pop up into shallow center. Going back is James, and he's there for out number 1. And I think that's where Sansone succeeds so much for the Gulls. That's why he pitches in, because sometimes you can get those easy pop-outs because guys try to get those home runs, but it's too far in on the hands, and then it jams them up a little bit.
Yeah, nowadays a home run is just like a hit. If you give up a home run, you give up a home run. It's not too big of a deal. It's only 1 run if it's a solo shot, but the risk-reward is there for Sansone.
So that will bring up Elijah Dunham. Swings and fouls this one back into the screen, 0-1.
I mean, if you're good at pitching inside, though, you can normally get guys out that way, just straight that way, without giving up very many home runs.
Sansone able to work in and out on hitters and change the eye level as well, which makes him so effective. Now this 0-1 fastball catching the outer half, 0-2.
You know, if you go back and think about Mariano Rivera and his cutter, I mean, that's how he got guys out. So
yeah, he broke lefty bats left and right.
Yeah, exactly.
Was able to spit it off of a righty's bat and into the hands of a lefty.
Now Sansone lefty on lefty matchup here. This 0-2 is going to be sharp ground ball past Bellini at second and into center field. So a 1-out single for Dunham. put one aboard for the Waves. So with that single, that will bring up Xavier Vargas now for Ocean State. 1 for 2 on the night, RBI single in the first, grounded out second time up. Back to Schmeltz on the mound, who was the starter tonight for Newport, but his last time up did work a walk. First pitch to Vargas, fastball missing up, ball 1.
Yeah, the Waves have scattered 7 hits today, through 6 1/3 innings.
Yeah, it seems like, they are hitting the ball well. It's just not one after the other, but they still do lead 4-0. They've also worked quite a few walks on the night. It's helped them out as this throw over to first. Not in time, Dunham diving back safely.
Yeah, Schmeltz walked 5 and
Sansone with 1, so 6 on the day, but also a pair of hit batters.
those count just the same as walks to me.
Certainly just an extra base runner.
Free base, I look at it.
Now the 1-0 popped up into shallow left center, going back from short is James once again, but calling him off as Cavalieri for out number 2. So that's twice this inning that Sansone has induced the easy pop-ups, and out from the dugout for the Gulls is head coach Kevin Winterroad, and it looks like he's going to go to the pen, and he is. So we'll have more information on the new Gulls pitcher coming up here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the 7th, as there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Newport Gulls. It's Cameron Fair of Missouri. He will be making his 11th appearance for Newport. Through 10 appearances, he has a 10.03 ERA. He's pitched 11 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 16 runs, 13 of them earned off of 11 hits and 14 walks. Does have 14 strikeouts in those 11 2/3 innings pitched. Now Fair, that ERA can be a little bit bloated for him. But I talked about this the other night. Has actually been a quite effective pitcher for Newport. Just had a couple of bad outings, but has had 7 or 8 that have actually been excellent. And so the numbers don't actually look as good as he's been out there. Hitters are just hitting .234 off of him. And a couple of nights ago, it was sub 200. As that first pitch runs up and in on Nick Elson.
Yeah, sometimes as a reliever, you only throw 11 innings and just 1 or 2 bad outings can kind of inflate that ERA.
He's had 7 appearances out there on the mound where he hasn't given up a run. 1 appearance where he has given up 1 run. That was earned. As now this 1-0 pitch lined back into the screen, 1-1. And then he's had 2 appearances, one last time out against Vermont where he gave up 5 earned runs, and then 1 against Mystic where he gave up 8 runs, 7 of them earned. So it was really just those 2 outings that made his ERA look not as good as he's really been out there for the Gulls, but we're talking 7 appearances where he hasn't given up 1 single run. He's been pretty phenomenal in those appearances. As this 1-1's going to be cut on for strike 2, throw down behind the runner at first, and he's going to be caught out on the play. So a heads-up play there from Jones, and that will retire the side for the Waves in the top half of the 7th as they can't tack on a run off of 1 hit. And heading into the home half of the 7th. Stretch time here in Newport. It's 4-0 Waves here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Gulls here in the home half of the 7th as they trail Ocean State 4-0. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello. So it will be Peyton Dietz out there once again for the Waves, out there for his 3rd inning of relief. So he'll be facing off against Greg Cavalieri, the 9-hole hitter, leading things off for the Gulls here in the 7th. Lefty on righty matchup, First pitch missing outside for ball 1. On the 1-0, another pitch up and away, 2-0. Cavalieri on the night, 0 for 1, struck out swinging. His first time up, but did reach base safely tonight. His last time up at the plate did face Dietz. His first batter Dietz faced and worked a walk. Now this 2-0 pitch miss outside, 3-0.
Yeah, when Dietz has been missing, he's just barely been missing.
Kind of like what we saw from Trevor Pittman early on, the starter tonight for the Waves. Didn't miss his spots much. Had great command as that 3-0 pitch get me over fastball in there for strike one. Now the 3-1 Cavalier with the green light, but he's going to pop it up out of play along the first base side. 3-2. Dietz on the payoff pitch. Fastball on the outer half, catches Cavalieri swinging for strike three. And there's one away here in the seventh. Fourth strikeout of the day for Dietz, ninth on the day for the Wave staff. That will flip the lineup over now for Newport, bringing up Hudson Haskin.
If Newport to get anything going, I think it'd start right now. You got the top half of your lineup going.
This first pitch, Haskin is swinging. He's blasting this one into left center, and it's going to be into the trees. Solo shot for Hudson Haskin opens the scoring for the Gulls here in the seventh.
Called it.
You spoke too soon, Nick.
That's the reverse broadcaster's jinx right there.
She needs to stop doing that.
That's one way to get things going for Newport. Now some momentum swinging in their favor. Hudson Haskin with solo shot there. That's his fourth home run of the season. Second of this week for him. As that will now bring up Isaiah Thomas. Thomas on the night, 1 for 3. First pitch to Thomas. He's swinging and popping it up behind the plate. 0-1. Thomas singled his first time up, struck out swinging his second time, then reached on a fielder's choice his last time up at the plate. Is this 0-1, pitched miss low, 1-1. Another lefty on righty matchup for Dietz on the mound. Now this 1-1. Thomas watching in there for strike two.
It's just a great pitch right there by Dietz to freeze him right there.
Seemed to take something off of it, and Thomas wasn't expecting that. Now this 1-2 catches Thomas swinging at a pitch at the top of the zone for strike three. 10th strikeout of the day for Ocean State on the mound. 5th for Dietz.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Isaiah Thomas really hasn't been able to catch up with the fastball from either Waves pitcher tonight.
So now there are two down here in the seventh, as that will bring up Chris Hamilton. He's had 2 walks on the day, extending his on-base streak to 20 games. That first pitch misses for ball one. On the 1-0. Fastball just missing outside, 2-0.
Good job there by Will Bowers. Peyton Dietz asked him, he showed him with just about an inch or two off the plate, the same pitch there.
Now this 2-0 pitch, Hamilton taking a big cut at the top edge of the zone. 2-1. Seemed like he was trying to match Haskins' home run with that swing. Now this 2-1, Hamilton's driving this one into left. Going back is Elson, but he's there for out number 3. So the Gulls are able to tack one, break the ice on their scoreboard drought here in the 7th off of Haskins' solo shot. Off. And now the Gulls trail 4-1 heading into the 8th here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's the top of the 8th as the Gulls trail 4-1. Stephen Huff alongside Tim Joyce and Nick Bello. So it'll be Cameron Fair out there once again for the Gulls. He'll be facing off against Nick Elson, John Cristino, and Will McGillis for the Ocean State Waves.
The Gulls bullpen tonight has shown what they've been showing to us the past few games, and just how good they are. They've given up no runs so far. They've had 2 great pitching performances by Sansone and Ferrer.
It's now fair to Elson. First pitch, fastball up and in, 1-0. Elson was at the dish last inning, but Hayden Jones threw behind Elijah Dunham, who singled in the inning and caught him out. So 4 out, number 3. So Elson is up to bat here once again as that 1-0 pitch. Big pop fly, but out of play along the left field side, 1-1.
Header call, Newport Gulls.
Righty on righty matchup for fair on the mound. Elson on the day 0 for 2, but did work a walk the second time up and came around to score as that 1-1 fastball misses up and away. 2-1. Elson also has a pair of strikeouts to his name. Now there's 2-1 fastball, missing low, 3-1. On the 3-1, fastball swung on and missed. Actually looked like pulled the string a little bit and caught Elson out in front. 3-2.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a changeup there. I think if it was a fastball, Elson was going to drive it a long way, but he got him on the front foot with the changeup.
So now the payoff pitch. Going to be half swung at, looked like a check swing, but he grounds it over to Bellini, and he flips over to first in time for out number 1.
Yeah, an interesting swing there by Elson. He kind of check swung, tried to pull back, but I think it caught like the handle of the bat. It sounded like a broken bat as well.
And I think it caught like almost where the handle is.
Yeah.
It got a little bit of a barrel on it. It looked like from my point of view.
So it forced an easy ground out there for the Gulls defensively. Now there's one away for John Cristino at the plate. First pitch to Cristino, breaking ball, dropping into the zone for strike 1.
It's a beautiful pitch right there from Ferrer. Just dropped off the table.
He's been throwing mainly fastball tonight, but you're right, that breaking ball was fantastic. Now this 0-1, another fastball, swung on and missed, 0-2. Fair on the 0-2 fastball, going to be grounded towards the dugouts. And
should got in between the dugouts.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, very little space in between the dugouts.
Hockey-style dugouts over here.
Got into the Pierre Maguire area for you
Yeah.
hockey fans out there.
Or the Rhode Islander, Brian Boucher.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he's in between the glass now.
Now this one, another broken bat, and it's going to just be over the head of Hamilton at first and into right field. So that's a 1-out single for the Waves.
Yeah, John Cristino's not going to be happy about that bat. He hit the home run with that bat. He's used the bat all year.
So he's going to have to turn to a new one now. Of course, earlier in the day, he, as you mentioned, had that 2-run home run. That doubled the Waves' lead to 4. Now with a runner on first in Cristino. That will bring up Will McGillis. Of course, looking elsewhere in the major leagues, we just got an update that Chris Paddock, Padres rookie, is throwing a no-hitter through 6 innings.
No, I'm not going to put that game on because when the Rays had the combined perfect game, I put it on, and as
it
soon
was
as
your
I put
fault.
it,
It was your fault.
We were on the way to Martha's Vineyard. As soon as we got on the ferry, I put it on, and as soon as I put it on, they gave up a hit.
See, us broadcasters jinx games.
We were talking
even
about
when we're
superstitions
not,
earlier.
Yeah.
Even when we're not calling them.
Now this first pitch to McGillis, fastball up, 1-0. Of course, I think one of the coolest things was that the Angels, combined no-hitter.
Oh my God, that was unbelievable.
That's insane.
Of course, after Tyler Skaggs passed away, and that game was for him, that 1-0 pitch misses low underneath Jones, but he's able to find it and hold Cristino at first.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for the Angels. They weren't able to play at their home park until a few days after the All-Star break.
And then the first game back, of course, they throw that combined no-hitter and they were honoring him, and that was just, the baseball gods were there that night, and that was just so special.
It was his birthday. His mom threw out the first pitch.
Runner takes off for second, 2-0. In there for strike one. The throw down not in time. So runner in scoring position now for the Waves.
His mom probably threw one of the best first pitches I've ever seen.
Really?
It was, did you see that thing?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it.
Oh, my God. It was dead straight, and she had some velocity behind that.
She's a pitcher's mom.
Yeah.
Well, she was his pitching coach.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, she played softball.
Interesting.
She's a pretty good softball player from what I know.
Now, actually, it might be a 1-2 count, our scoreboard says, here at the stadium, but on the broadcast, it's a 2-1. The 2-1, though, we'll go with the 2-1. It's popped back into the screen, so it's a 2-2.
Yeah, our official score has a 2-1 count, now 2-2.
Says 2-2. Okay. So 2-2 to McGillis at the plate. Runner in scoring position as the Waves lead 4-1 here in the top half of the 8th. Righty on righty matchup. On the 2-2. Off speed, going to be grounded over to the third base line, and foul will go again.
Even though that pitch was fouled off, another great one from Farrer. It looks like to be a curveball to me. It's just dropping off the table. It's nearly perfect.
Yeah, good job by McGillis to foul it off and not pull off of it as well.
That's a ball most hitters tend to get ahead of.
Now this 2-2, another breaking ball catches McGillis, looking for strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Fair on the mound, 6th of the day for the Newport staff. So now with 2 away, that will bring up the 9-hole hitter for the Waves, Ian Osberg. Osberg on the night 0 for 2, but did work a walk in his first plate appearance. Pair of ground outs since then. Righty on lefty matchup for Fair on the mound. First offering to Osberg, runs inside, he backs away 1-0.
Wonder if that was a little back off the plate pitch right there, because he's getting pretty close to the plate.
Yeah, and Farrer kind of gave him a little bit of a look.
Yeah, that's what I caught at the end too. I wasn't sure if you guys caught that.
So now there's time called at the plate. On the 1-0. Fastball outside, 2-0.
I can't see Osberg and Fair having any history, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm not
Well, it's interesting because he might have backed him off the plate a little bit, and then the next pitch tried to set up outside to see if he could get out of the reach of Osberg's bat a little bit maybe.
But it almost seemed like it had no effect.
Now there's 2-0. Back inside, and it's going to be popped up in foul territory, but just slicing out of play for strike 1.
Because I'm looking at Osberg's feet right now. He's got his left foot, his back foot, right on the line of the batter's box.
Yeah, he's somebody that a lot of the Waves actually stand very close to the plate to take away that inside corner. Because as we said earlier, a lot of pitchers don't really want to throw inside, so that pretty much eliminates middle in for the pitchers, and they got to go outside and try to work away.
Yeah, that's a smart strategy if you're a hitter out there. But it makes it tough on some pitchers, too, if they do try to work inside. But on the flip side, if you're able to work inside effectively, it could jam you up here.
I think the theory is.
Now this 2-1 does come inside with a breaking ball. They're going to say it missed for ball 3.
I think the theory is that most of these hitters are Division I, if not pro-level hitters, and their hands are going to be quick enough where they can get to that inside pitch no matter how close they are to the plate.
I mean, getting that close to the plate, too, induces a lot of, hit-by pitches, and we've seen it here tonight. So
yeah, 2 already, and Joe Simone and Casey Dana.
It's kind of a double threat to that strategy.
So now there's 3-1. This one missing low for ball 4 First walk of the day for Fair. But that's the 7th base on balls for Newport. And then, of course, we had 2 hit batters as well.
Yeah, so 9 free passes for the Gulls today. Given out by the Gulls, the Waves earned them. Although the hit by pitch to Casey Daniel was a back foot slider that actually hit him on that back foot. That bat foot, I think it was something where it just kind of Sansone or it was Schmeltz actually, he just held on to it a little bit too long.
And I think that first one too, it was just a pitch that got away from him.
So that will flip the lineup over for the Waves, and Joe Simone watches his first pitch fastball on the outer half for strike 1. Simone on the day, as we said, was hit by a pitch and later came around to score in his first time up. Then had a pair of pop outs in his last time up. Singled and was picked off. Now time is called at the plate from Simone. Hitting over 300 this year for Ocean State. It's now on the 0-1. This one missing inside. Joe Simone backing up. 1-1.
A lot of fans have stayed through the rain for this game.
Rain has let up, though, thankfully. It's now the 1-1. Missing on the outer half. Jones faking a throw down to first. 2-1. No one covering at first. We thought we were going to be hit by quite a bit of storms here.
Yeah, I thought this game was only going to go 5 innings at best.
Yeah, we were preparing for, I know, me and you before the game for what to talk about during a rain delay.
Yeah.
And we were hit with, a light sprinkle, but nothing too bad here tonight. As now there's 2-1. Fastball misses up, the throw down. No one is covering first, and so Hamilton fields it off of a hop as he's on the edge of the right field grass.
Yeah, well, Hayden Jones hasn't been shy showing off his cannon of an arm tonight.
I think Hamilton just said a little my bad 'cause he tapped himself on the chest after that one.
Osberg did dive back on the play, but obviously back safely, and the count now is 3-1 to Simone. Spare on the 3-1 fastball. Just missing outside for ball 4, so 2 straight walks now loads the bases up for Ocean State.
Garrett Hodges again, absolutely on an offensive tear. He's 2 for 3 on the day. He's reached base 3 times, although he did strike out in his last at-bat. That was against Sansone, though.
Yeah, with the bases loaded, this is one of the bats you just don't want to face if you're fair on the mound. Hitting .321 coming into tonight, but as you said, 2 for 3 as well.
Came in clutch last night with a grand slam.
Now this first pitch to Hodges, fastball, the top half of the zone, 0-1. 6 doubles on the year for Hodges and 3 home runs, so he's quite a bit of power to his bat.
Does have 1 triple as well. He hit that last night. He was a double shy of the cycle.
Fair looking on. On the 0-1, swinging is Hodges, and he lines it back into the backstop, 0-2.
The cycle, in my opinion, is something you rarely see in the NCBL.
Yeah, all the parks are so small.
Yeah.
The triple last night, it was, I always say triples are doubles, and somebody makes a mistake that's not an error. The left fielder, Justice Burke for the Schooners, had a little bit of difficulty picking up the ball.
I mean, you saw it here tonight. The playing center field.
It was a diving play.
Now this 0-2 going to be popped up into center field. Going back is Bellini from second, and Haskin coming in from center and making a sliding play for out number 3. So no runs crossed for the Waves here in the 8th as they leave them loaded heading into the bottom of the 8th. Waves still lead the goals 4-1 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Fans.
Bottom of the 8th here in Newport as it is 4-1 Waves. Stephen Huff joined alongside Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, and Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. And Nick, since you're with us here in the booth, I'm going to send it your way so you can fill us in what's happening around the NECBL.
Thank you, Stephen. So as we said before in the top of the 3rd, we had New Bedford taking both games in the doubleheader, 4-3 in the first one over Danbury, 7-4 over Danbury in the second one off of a walk-off. Vineyard and Winnipesaukee has been rescheduled. 8-1 North Adams over Sanford in the bottom of the 8th. 3-1 Upper Valley over Vermont in the bottom of the 4th. As that one's gone underway, that one was delayed before, and Keenan Valley has been rescheduled. So Stephen, back to you.
Thank you, Nick. And we were taking a look earlier, actually, about a no-no happening in the major leagues, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But there is actually a new pitcher on the mound for the Waves.
Yeah, it's going to be James Monty Thorne, better known as Monty Horn, the rising junior for Kennesaw State on the year. Is a 4.35 ERA. He's appeared in 9 games, all out of the Waves bullpen. 10 in the third innings, 10 strikeouts, 7 walks, and opponents are only hitting .220 off of him.
And he will look to close things out here tonight against the Gulls. As Newport trails 4-1, and they are down to their final 6 outs. Of course, that will close the book now on Peyton Dietz. He threw 3 innings of relief, gave up just 2 hits, 1 run. It was an earned run. It was a Hudson Haskins solo shot to left center. Gave up 2 walks while striking out 5. Now Brett Vosick settles in for the Gulls, leading things off for Newport. First pitch, fastball missing up, 1-0. Righty on lefty matchup. Horn looking on. 1-0 pitch. Another one missing up, 2-0. Vosick on the day 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts and had a walk in between them. Now there's 2-0. Vosick swinging and fouling it off towards the left side of the infield. 2-1.
And if you're in Newport right now, just anything would help. Just try and get guys on base, whether it's a walk, a hit, anything.
Yeah, you're down by 3 at this point, so you're not out of it, but you just need to start earning some hits right now, maybe working some walks to get some things going. Now there's 2-1. That one misses up and away. 3-1. Vosick up at the plate right now with Henry Malloy, Justin Henry Malloy on deck for the Gulls. Now this 3-1. Swinging is Vosick, but swinging through it. Count now full.
It's a perfect pitch for him to swing at. Just couldn't get there in time.
Especially, on the 3-1 count, he's going to have the green light. But as you said, couldn't catch up to it. So count now full. On the payoff pitch, he's going to crack this one. Past Osberg at second and in between Vargas into right field. So a leadoff single for the Gulls.
It's exactly what the Gulls needed right there. Just as we talked about on Monday, just hitting for the team, as Jim Sawyer would say, just get on base.
Now we'll bring up Justin Henry Malloy. 1 for 3 on the night, struck out swinging his first time up, then a sharp line drive and a fantastic play from Elson and left to save 3 runs at the time in the bottom of the third. His last time up, he did get his only hit on the day so far with the single. Now this first pitch to Malloy misses low for ball 1. Of course, we mentioned that no-no, though. Chris Paddock now through 7 innings.
Yeah, it's actually a no-no against his, or a prospective no-no against his former club, the Miami Marlins, who drafted him in the 8th round in 2016, was then dealt later that year for Fernando Rodney.
And what a trade that one is that 1-0 pitch breaking ball in there for strike 1.
I wonder who got the better of that trade.
Yeah, that's a trade the Marlins might regret a little bit.
Well, Fernando Rodney's 43 years old, and he's still pitching pretty well in the major leagues.
That's
not
true.
for the Marlins.
Yeah, but you give up, a budding ace for a reliever at the end of his career. Is that 1-1 fastball Malloy thought about but held back. 2-1.
Yeah, Rodney for the Nationals this year. 7 ERA. He's thrown 20 innings. He's given up 17 runs, but still say not a terrible trade.
Now this 2-1 to Malloy, breaking ball missing on the outer half and low. 3-1. Paddock now through 7 innings, giving up just 1 walk with 7 strikeouts.
He's only at 82 pitches.
So he Definitely has the chance to go the distance.
I wonder when the last time a no-hitter was pitched in the NECBL.
Last year.
Last year?
Yeah, there was a complete game no-hitter for the Valley Blue Sox.
That 3-1 fastball catches the bottom edge of the zone. Full count now to Malloy.
I can't quite remember
as now the no-hitter is gone.
The shutout's gone too. We did it again.
Starlin Castro just hit a solo shot off of Paddock, and so just as Tim Joyce turns the game on, it is a home. It is over after Castro hit the home run, and so thank Tim Joyce for that one once again. It seems like every time you turn the games on in those situations, that happens.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me with the Rays combined perfect game as soon as I turned that on in the ninth.
That payoff pitch is going to catch Malloy looking for strike 3 at the bottom edge of the zone. One away here in the 8th.
As soon as I turned that game on in the ninth, I can't remember the hitter, but they hit a single, and there goes the perfect game. So I'm not going to watch any no-hitters that are in effect anymore.
Apparently with Jenks is universal.
What are the odds of that? And it's Castro. I mean, that's his only 7th or 8th home run.
It was his 7th home
run of the season.
He's not hitting for a high average as well.
It's his first pitch to Hayden Jones. He watches in there for strike 1.
Yeah, so the last no-hitter in the NECBL was last year by the Valley Blue Sox. I forget the pitcher's name, but he threw 150 pitches, and that's why with the new pitch count rules.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
his arm nearly fell off, I'm sure.
It was an 11-inning no-hitter, too.
Oh, my goodness. Now this 0-1 pitch to Jones, misses low, 1-1.
So I'm assuming he gave up fewer walks than that.
I can check. I'm not really sure. I know.
Or was it 0-0?
It was a perfect game, or was it?
No, it was a no-hitter. So somebody could have reached on an error.
Oh, that's true too.
So it's an old-fashioned Francisco Liriano no-hitter. Now the 1-1 to Jones. Fastball missing up. 2-1.
Yeah, with these new pitch count rules, doesn't it make it even harder for guys to throw no-hitters?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to be extremely efficient out there, or a guy that, pitches to contact and creates weak contact.
Or
now this 2-1. Jones is going to grounder over to the first base side, throw to second in time for one, throw back to first in time. So a 3-6-3 double play ends things in the 8th, heading into the 9th. Waves lead 4-1 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's the top of the 9th as the Gulls trail 4-1 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. There is a new pitcher on the mound for Newport. Looks to be Patrick Maybach of Salve Regina. Southpaw is going to make his 9th appearance on the mound for the Gulls. Through 8 appearances, he has a 5.65 ERA. And he's pitched 14 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 9 runs, all of them earned off of 21 hits and 9 walks. Has 15 strikeouts in those 14 1/3 innings pitched. He'll have a fastball and an excellent curveball that he'll be dealing on the mound, as well as a changeup. But his curveball is really his best pitch, and he'll be sequencing it with that fastball.
So going back to that no-hitter last year for the Valley Blue Sox is by Cooper Bradford, a North Florida Osprey. And there was a 4-0 win in extra innings in 11 innings. And it was game 1 of a doubleheader.
And so it was only supposed to be 7 innings, and they ended up going 11, and he threw 150 pitches.
Yeah, it was a 4-0 win for the Blue Sox as Bradford only walked 5 through 13 strikeouts in 11 innings.
That means it was 0-0 heading into the 11th.
Yeah. And the Blue Sox they were the away team, and I believe they were the away team in that end of the doubleheader.
Holy cow.
There's just so much to dissect in that.
Wow.
I don't even know where to start, boys.
I remember Jonah Karp, the voice of the Ocean State Waves last year, was actually here at Cardines calling the game while that game was going on.
Wow. Now the first pitch from Maybach to Casey Dana is a breaking ball in there for strike 1.
I thought our 9-inning doubleheader game that for the first one against Vineyard was bad here, but I can't imagine 11-inning doubleheader.
And you get no hit.
Yeah.
And no hit.
Now that 0-1. Fastball missing at 1-0. I think you're talking about the one against Mystic.
No, Vineyard.
Oh, the Vineyard. Oh, the crazy one back and
forth.
Oh,
yes, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we've had a couple of crazy extra inning games back and forth, but Lots of extra inning games for Newport on the season. As now this one another curveball missing up, 2-1.
Yeah, it was one we played 9 innings, but it was only supposed to be 7.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that doubleheader that day.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 scheduled doubleheaders the Waves have gone into extra innings.
Well, that happened with the Danbury doubleheader too for Newport.
That's right.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
3-1. Yeah, it was supposed to be 7, of course, in the first game, and then went. Both teams hit 2-run home runs in the 8th inning.
I remember watching that game in preparation for we had a game that night.
And then we go into the 9th, and the Gulls put up 10 runs in the 9th and end up winning it. This pitch misses up for ball 4. They'll put Casey Dana aboard the leadoff walk.
All right, so talking extra innings in the NECBL, how do you, and Nick, you can answer this too, how do you guys feel about the runner on second base?
I actually love it. I think it makes it so entertaining, but there's so much strategy that comes with it that I think was missing before in baseball, where you just go along with the same thing that you saw in the first 9 innings.
Yeah, it makes these managers manage,
Yeah, certainly, and you don't just see the same old thing. You have to manage your bullpen differently. This first pitch, breaking ball to Dunham, cutting in on the inside edge, 0-1. But you have to think about your defense, your hitting. You have to think about everything, and you're seeing some things in baseball that you haven't seen before, and you're seeing it a lot.
Yeah, you really are. The Waves decided to bunt. They couldn't get the bunt down, and then the 2 extra inning games, and then the runner actually stole third base.
Now this 0-1, another curveball. This one just missing up, 1-1. I mean, we've seen intentional walks to set up some double plays. We've seen some bunts, as you're talking about. Some guys just want to go out there and hit. But you can get in scenarios with that runner on second where the pitcher gets 3 outs in the 3 batters he faces, and the run still scores because they're productive at bats.
Yep.
And so that part of it is interesting because the pitcher can do everything he's supposed to do. As that pitch is going to be lined off the warehouse, 1-2 now.
And I wasn't a big fan of the rule at first when I first saw it because it was a game here. I think our pitcher gave up.
It was against Mystic. I remember it.
I'm not a huge fan because of that. And I also think it gives too much of an advantage to the away team because you're up first. You can tack on so many runs before the home team.
But you can do that anyways, hitting first and extra.
No matter what, yeah. Now this 1-2 pitch is going to be sliced foul along the left field side.
And that's the thing with it too. So that's why I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I like the strategy of it though. That you have to think about.
No, I'll be honest. In the offseason, I was totally against it. It was the last thing I wanted to see in baseball. But we had the first extra inning game up in Sanford, and Will McGillis is put on second base. He was the last batted out. Brendan Conley comes up to pinch hit to get a bunt down, doesn't get it down, and then McGillis steals third base, and then he scores on a sac fly.
Right.
And then I was a total fan of it after that, and every time we've used it since, I've been completely for it.
Now this 1-2, Dunham fouling it off at the plate, staying alive. Count remains.
But I also think the thought that it cuts time in extra innings isn't necessarily true because you spend so much more time with the first at bat. I think
it certainly is true. I mean, certainly there's no way games, we saw games going to the 11th inning last year, but you saw games going in the 14th, 15th, 16th inning.
I remember one time on the 4th of July here.
Now this 1-2 is going to be chopped back up the middle. Runner took off for second. No play there. Throw to first in time for out number 1.
So the Waves were playing here on the 4th of July. We played 17 innings.
Yeah, and, at that point you're playing 2 games on that day and you're burning through some arms, and you can't afford to do that, especially in summer ball when your main goal is to develop these guys.
Yeah, I get it to an extent. I think the 2 extra innings is the perfect number because you're exactly right, Stephen. It's summer ball. It's competitive. Yes, you want to win, but you're also about development and staying healthy and being sharp for your college season.
Yeah, and so you don't want to overexpose these guys, and so I think having a 2-inning cap and you don't score too many runs in those innings, but it makes it exciting where there are runs scored. As that first pitch breaking ball to Vargas is in there for strike 1. But there are still plenty of runs scored, and the strategy part of it adds another element to it as well.
And you could also play for the tie as well.
That's true. Yeah, you could also do that. It would definitely add another element to it.
Now this 0-1 fastball swung on and missed at the knees, 0-2.
I think the rule is there for the MLB to use, but I think they need to develop it a little bit more. Adding a 2-inning cap would definitely be something I would like to see. Because
I wouldn't like to see that in Major League Baseball.
Really? Why is that?
I get it here because it's just for development, but those are competitive games.
Now this 0-2, another breaking ball going to be cut on down the dugouts.
You know, I understand that, but you're playing such a long season. It is kind of the same idea, though. You're trying to save arms, save bodies.
But there, I don't think you can afford to have ties.
Exactly.
You're playing for wins and losses.
At that point, if you have ties, you have to go to the same system we're using this year, almost like a points where you need to go to an NHL-style division standing system if you're going to play for ties.
Now this 0-2 chop back up the middle. James with it looks to third, but throws to first in time for out number 2. But at the same time, I do hear what you're saying because, I mean, you do want to save some of those arms and don't want to lose, anyone because of injury. But I don't think you would run into problems that much. I think with the runner starting on second, I think a lot of games in the major leagues would end pretty quickly. And you've seen it here in the NECBL. There hasn't been one tie because these games end in 2 innings.
The Ocean State Waves have come the closest. They were down to their final strike before a tie.
Now this first pitch fastball catches the inner half to Elson, 0-1.
Yeah, that was in Martha's Vineyard. It was the bottom of the 9th inning, a front end of a doubleheader. Dylan Morton was down 0-2, and then he singled up the middle to drive in Casey Dana.
And so I think the runs would still be coming in at a high enough rate where ties wouldn't be that common anyways. Now that 0-1, similar spot from Maybach, but this one missing just a little bit more in.
You know, I think, too, the talent level in the MLB is going to make it a more interesting role, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think if you implement it in the major leagues, you only implement it in the regular season.
Now this 1-1 breaking ball missing outside, 2-1.
You know, I like that idea because I actually like extra inning games in the playoffs.
Yes, because if you have a runner on second base in Game 7 of the World Series and somebody hits a base hit up the middle, the game shouldn't end like that. You shouldn't win a World Series on a base hit with nobody out.
Exactly. And
a runner that didn't earn his way to second base.
Now there's 2-1 fastball missing low, 3-1.
You know, I like that Dodgers game, the Dodgers-Red Sox World Series game that went to how many?
It was 17 innings.
Yeah, I mean,
technically 17 and like 16 and 2/3.
You know, I loved every second of that game. I just think it's more dramatic if you have extra innings in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I watched every second of that
Me
game.
too.
Yeah.
Now this 3-1, flown back into the screen towards us. Count now full.
I actually had friends over my house that night. We were
Really?
doing a little get together in my apartment with my roommates and stuff, and I locked myself in my room and watched that whole game. It wasn't being very social. I was actually kind of being a bad host.
I had a class at like 8 o'clock the next morning, and about a 40-minute drive from my house. I didn't even sleep that night. I just stayed up, and I had to be up about 6:30, so I would have got about 2 hours of sleep.
Now this payoff pitch misses low and inside. Breaking for the plate is Dana, and the throw down is going to be away from Maybach over to first, and so scoring for the Waves is Dana, and that will extend their lead now to 4 as they lead 5-1.
Go down as a pass ball against Hayden Jones.
And that is a costly mistake for the Gulls. Instead of down by 3 with their final 3 outs, that extra 1 just makes it all the tougher.
It really does, because even if you're just down by 3, you can have 2 runners on base in the tying run be at the plate. Now the bases have to be loaded.
But you got to hand it there. I mean, there's not a lot of room behind behind the plate going towards the backstop, and you can't have any hesitation, and Dana broke for the plate immediately.
Yeah, he went as soon as he saw that ball past Jones, and if he hesitates even a split second, he's going to be out at home plate.
So that will bring up now John Cristino for the Waves.
You know, this has been a tough night for the Gulls, but I don't think it's going to hurt them too much when it comes to standings and playoff positions. I mean, if you're going to lose a game, I think right now is the best time to lose it if there was ever a good time to lose.
Yeah, well, Mystic was off today, so they can't lose a game. Should the Gulls lose, they'll drop to a game and a half behind Martha's Vineyard. The Waves win, they'll pick up a game on the Danbury Westerners.
Now throw over to first. They're going to have the runner take down to second, and the throw is in time for out number 3. But the Waves do tack on 1 on that pass ball, so they now lead 5-1. Newport down to their final 3 outs here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Newport is down to their final 3 outs here in the bottom of the 9th as they trail 5-1 against the Ocean State Waves. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello, as it will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Newport Gulls, as it will be Joey Bellini, Austin James, and Greg Cavalieri facing off against Monty Horn. Monty Horn out there for his second inning of work, gave up a leadoff single, struck out the next batter and Justin Henry Malloy looking, and then ended the inning with a 3-6-3 double play. Pitcher's best friend out there.
Yeah, it really is. Rarely do you see a 3-6-3 double play. I think even rarer would be the 3-6-1 double play, but a great turn by Xavier Vargas, who we highlighted his defense earlier.
This first pitch to Bellini, catching the bottom edge of the zone for strike one. Righty on righty matchup for Horn. Working from the first base side of the rubber. On the 0-1 fastball. Popped out of play towards the warehouse in right. 0-2.
He straightens that one out. That one's gone.
Yeah, it would have been similar to the home run of Cristino.
Yeah.
Yeah. 0-2 now to Bellini. Had that triple earlier in the game. Now this 0-2 pitch he lunges at and is able to float it into right field over the head of Osberg coming back from second base, and that's a leadoff single for the Gulls.
Yeah, we saw Bellini do the same kind of lunge earlier in the night. It was a ball that was in the dirt, and he kind of stuck his bat out at it. He fouled it off. This time he gets a base hit off of it.
And actually, we talked about Starlin Castro earlier. That's actually something that he does often in his bats. Just especially with 2 strikes, just kind of lunges out there with the bat and puts that out across over the plate, especially on low and away, and you see Bellini able to get a single off of it.
Now, I'll ask you this. You know better than me. Will we see a left-handed pinch hitter and any of Tours and Gustin on the bench?
Tours is thrown in a lot, and he's had some clutch hitting for the Gulls. As this first pitch to James in there for strike one. Tours has pinched hit a lot for Newport, but with Cavalieri and Hudson Haskin up next, I'd be surprised a little bit if they do pinch hit. Now this 0-1 fanned at from James, actually tipped into the glove of Cristino, 0-2.
Yeah, I think if you were going to pinch hit, it would either have been for Bellini or James.
Yeah, and you're searching for that righty-lefty matchup, but since they're just looking for singles right now, I think that's why they didn't. But if they were looking for more power, then you may have seen Tours as that 0-2 pitch skips in front of the plate, 1-2. We did see Tours after he had that walk-off against Winnipesaukee the next day, pinch hit, and that was his first plate appearance since that home run, and then hit that home run against Mystic to propel the Gulls over the Schooners.
Now, it was a very underrated block there by Cristino. It was a tough pitch to block, and blocked it up and kept the runner from advancing.
Now this 1-2 is going to be grounded over to short, flips to second for one, throw to first is in time, so a 6-4-3 double play, and the Gulls are down to their final out.
Well, there that block comes to help the Waves. Had that ball gotten past Cristino, the double play wouldn't have been turned, and Bellini probably be on third base.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That block pays huge dividends for the Waves, and there are now 2 away for the Gulls at the plate as Greg Cavalieri settles in. Righty on lefty matchup, Cavalieri the switch hitter at the plate. First pitch fastball misses up for ball 1. Cavalieri 0 for 2 on the night, pair of strikeouts, but did work a walk, so he has reached base safely once.
So with the 2 New Bedford Bay Sox wins today, the Winnipesaukee Muskrats are the last team to 10 wins.
Now that 1-0 pitch misses up and away, 2-0.
Now they do have 14 games to try to get those 10 wins, those 2 wins that they need.
They're 8-20 right now, Winnipesaukee.
They almost got a win here at Cardines, but Taylor's came through.
So now that 2-0 comes in and hits Cavalieri. Looks to be on his thigh, and so he wears one and gives the Gulls a base runner here in the 9th, as that will flip the lineup over for Hudson Haskin.
Well, they did get a win at Old Mountain Field.
They're a sneaky good team, you know.
Yeah,
they play in spurts, and
their
they're a lot
bats
tougher.
They have some pretty good bats on their team. I think it's the pitching that's kind of the sore spot for them.
They're a lot tougher, and if you don't take them seriously, they will make you pay for it.
Yeah, I know. I spoke to you after that. You said the Gulls kind of didn't really take them seriously, and then they...
Taking off on the play is Cavalieri, and he's aboard second without a throw. Pitch missed low and away for ball 1. Yeah, it seemed like the Gulls were just a little bit slow to wake up against Winnipesaukee, and then they started to play with a little bit more urgency and were able to make a comeback in that one. But Winnipesaukee, yeah, I mean, if you're not taking them seriously and playing, all out, they can make you pay for it.
I think every team in the league needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah, and
We
that's
saw it with
what's
New
so
Bedford on Monday.
special.
Yeah.
So special about the NECBL is that 1-0 pitch misses up 2-0. There's so much talent across the board that anyone can win any game. As you've seen, New Bedford's going on a bit of a run as well, and they beat Mystic. They've beaten Danbury twice today.
Yeah, when you have over 400 professional players active,
now there's time called at the plate.
It really speaks to the talent of the league and the Waves. I know the 24th overall picks were former NECBL players.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so there is really talent across the board, and it shows day in and day out across the league. Now this 2-0 fastball over the heart of the plate, 2-1.
And you have conferences represented. Obviously, all 5 power conferences are represented. I'd have to imagine there's over 14 or 15 Division I conferences represented. There's Division II and III, and even the junior college level.
Now there's 2-1 to Haskin. He's swinging, and it drops beneath the zone. 2-2. Newport's down to their final strike.
And I know that people like to knock on junior college players, but they come here ready to play. There's some great players.
Caleb Upshaw for the Danbury Westerners. He's top 5 in the league in batting average, and he's a rising sophomore at junior college. He's going to Eastern Kentucky, but he comes from a junior college. Justice Burke for Mystic. He's hitting 300 from a junior college.
And a lot of them play their hearts out and have a lot of talent to them. Is that 2-2 pitch misses outside, 3-2.
I mean, junior college baseball, it really is a grind, and it slept on competition. Cause
oh, my gosh, yeah.
The 8th overall pick was a junior college player in Jackson Rutledge. Mind you, he did go to Arkansas his freshman year and decided to transfer, but still a junior college player. And a lot of players at the junior college level transfer to Division I schools.
This payoff pitch is going to be grounded to the left side of the infield. Scooping it up is McGillis, but he's not going to make the throw as Hudson Haskin has too much speed and was able to beat it out for his 3rd hit of the night. So runners on 1st and 2nd now for the Gulls. And now you're seeing that run in the top of the 9th hurt the Gulls a little bit. This would represent the tying run for Newport, but instead, because that pass ball scored a run for the Waves, the tying run is still on deck. And Chris Hamilton as Isaiah Thomas settles in at the dish.
And to go back to the junior college discussion, I think junior college players.
This first pitch to Thomas, he lines right back into the screen. 0-1.
I think junior college players across all sports should be more respected than they are already.
Jimmy Butler was a junior college player.
Exactly. We had a basketball player at St. John's this year. LJ Figueroa was a junior college player for his first year. He came in this year, absolutely tore up the Big East.
Yeah, I remember in the Big East championship game.
Huge.
I was at that game in the Garden.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah. My dad and I go to the Atlantic 10 tournament every year to see URI, where he's got 2 degrees from URI. I'm going to URI in the fall, and the Rams had won earlier in the day.
That 0-1 pitch off speed caught Thomas out in front, 0-2.
And us being Rhode Islanders, we would have liked to see PC not win, but just be there.
Yeah, I remember PC playing that first game.
And then we had nothing to do, so we hit it over to Manhattan and caught the Big East championship game. It was a cool environment. It really was.
Oh, it's great every year. I've been grateful to cover it the past 2 years, and the championship on Sunday. It's
now the 0-2 fastball just missing on the outside edge, 1-2.
It's definitely a great experience that every college basketball fan should go and do at some point.
Yeah, I had Seton Hall on the left of me and Villanova fans on the right of me. And we when the ACC tournament was in Brooklyn, we had a chance to see Duke, North Carolina, and we had North Carolina on one side, Duke on the other.
Oof.
2 of the nicest fans in the world, really.
Oh, no, I know.
Now this 1-2, missing low, 2-2.
I actually got the opportunity this year to go cover a St. John's game at Duke, and that atmosphere is absolutely insane. But the people there are so nice.
Yeah, they are the nicest. Now, what amazes me, Shamori Ponce didn't get drafted.
I mean, I kind of saw that coming.
I think with the talent level he has, though.
This is 2-2. Thomas swings and misses 4 strike 3, so that will end things here at Cardines as the throwdown caps it off. And Ocean State grabs Game 5 of the Pell Bridge Series. So now is 3-2 on the series in the Gulls' favor. Ocean State winning this one by a score of 5-1, dropping Newport to 18-14 on the year. And Ocean State now winning 4 straight. They are 12-19 on the season. Don't go anywhere. Post-game show coming up next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Stay tuned.
5-1 your score tonight. Ocean State over Newport, taking Game 5 of the Pell Bridge Series. It's now Ocean State 12-19 on the year, as Newport dropping to 18-14. Stephen Huff, alongside the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, and Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. Taking a look at this one, Garrett Schmeltz started on the mound for the Gulls. Just went 2 1/3 innings, pitched, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. Walking 5, hitting 2 extra batters, and only striking out 3. It wasn't the start he wanted out there on the mound, and that led to, a couple early runs for the Waves. And then on the flip side, you got to hand it to the Waves pitchers. I mean, Trevor Pittman went 4 innings, sprayed 3 hits across those 4 innings, didn't give up a run. We talked about, walks being a concern for him. He only gave up 2. Peyton Dietz and Monty Horn came in and threw an excellent 5 innings of relief for them as well.
Yeah, excuse me. Well, for the Waves, they didn't score a run after Garrett Schmeltz exited the game until the top of the 9th inning, and that was on a pass ball. So kudos to the Gulls bullpen for shutting down the Waves offense, but they capitalized on free bases when they needed to. They were hit twice. They were walked 5 times by Schmeltz. 3 of those walks came around to score. So it was just really the Waves capitalizing on Gulls' mistakes tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Gulls walked a ton of batters, especially the hit by Pip batters as well. But how about John Cristino, obviously, with that 2-run home run that kind of kicked the momentum in their favor as well?
Yeah, well, that was really the killer for the Gulls. That was able to knock Schmeltz out of the game. It was an opposite field home run out in right field to those houses, and just a great job by Cristino to take an outside pitch and drive it hard.
I mean, you look at the pitching staff, it was the key for me for Ocean State. Trevor Pittman, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, did not give up a run, 5 strikeouts to just 2 walks. Then Peyton Dietz comes in, 3 innings pitched, just 2 hits, gave up a run. It was the Hudson Askin solo shot. Had another 5 strikeouts to 2 walks, and then Monty Horn capped it off. 2 innings pitched, just 3 hits, did not give up a run, no walks. 2 strikeouts and a hit batter. Absolute team performance there from the Waves.
Yeah, and that's what they've been doing with the bullpen. You look back, it started against Martha's Vineyard. Nick Robinson went 6 strong innings. Then he went 1, 2, 3 with the relievers, and Peyton Dietz was one of those, and then C.J. McKinnon, then again against Mystic, and now here against the Gulls. The Waves bullpen has really done what they've needed to do lately.
Yeah, so an excellent performance for Ocean State. Again, they are now 12-19 on the season. 4th win in a row for them, while Newport drops to 18-14 on the year. This is the 5th installment of the Pell Bridge Series. 3-2 now in the Gulls' favor, but the Ocean State Waves capping off this last one with the win. Of course, we'll be back in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
I believe it's
see you
next Monday.
Next Monday, and we'll be back here at Cardines. Until then, Tim Joyce, it's a short trip back, but I know it's a muggy one. It's humid tonight. So
no AC in the car.
No AC, so drive safe back there. And as always, it's good seeing you.
It was a pleasure.
Drive safe, and for Tim Joyce, we'll see you on Monday.
Certainly.
I'm going to send it on over to Nick now, field reporter for the Newport Gulls. You can recap this game a little bit more. I'm going to go down to the field for tonight's outro, but Nick, post-game show is yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Steven. Once again, Newport Gulls falling tonight to the Ocean State Waves, 5-1. Not an awful win for the Gulls tonight. If as I said during the broadcast, if there was ever a time to lose, it would be now. Unfortunately, you'd never want to lose a game like this, but it's not going to hurt the Gulls too much, as they will still remain in second place, as Mystic tonight did not play, but the Gulls' winning percentage is at .580, which will keep them in that second place spot. And the Danbury Westerners also no threat right now either, as they dropped 2 tonight to the New Bedford Bay Sox in a doubleheader. Let me take you around the league and see what happened tonight in the NECBL. As I said, the New Bedford Bay Sox swept a doubleheader to the Danbury Westerners, 4-3 in the first game, 7-4 in the second game. Winnipesaukee and Vineyard has been rescheduled. Top 7 right now, 3-1 Upper Valley over Vermont. North Adams goes on to defeat the Sanford Mainers, 9-3. Keenan Valley has been rescheduled, as I am joined here by my good friend and colleague and post-game show co-host, John Perrick. John, disappointing loss for the Gulls tonight. but it's not going to hurt them moving forward. So if you're Kevin Winterroad, what are you telling the team right now?
Well, overall, I think there were some good things out of this game, but really kind of an inconsistent start, kind of this weird feel. You don't know if we're going to get 9 innings in. You don't know if we're playing for 5 innings. So just going into this game, there was a lot to it. And I don't know if it got in the player's head or if they were confused, but it was not the performance I think that we were expecting, especially out of Garrett Schmeltz on the mound. That was not a disappointment, but it was just a little strange considering how dominant he was against Danbury in Newport's doubleheader sweep last week.
You know, I didn't really think about the whole, the whole rain delay effect that it had on the players, but that's actually a good point to bring up, because if I'm a player, I'm like, okay, so we're going to play 5 innings, we're going to get out of here. Maybe we won't play 5 innings, we'll have to come back for a doubleheader or something like that. So that's actually an interesting dynamic that I didn't really think of. And I agree with you. I mean, Garrett Schmeltz, I thought this would probably be one of the best games we've seen here at Cardinals Field from a pitcher. But, I mean, I wouldn't really put this loss on him entirely. The Gulls bat just couldn't really wake up today at all. But if there were to be a player that we're actually going to send it down to Stephen Huff. Stephen, take it away.
So the Gulls fell tonight by a score of 5-1, but we'll be back in action on Friday here at Cardines, taking on the Vermont Mountaineers. For tonight, I'd like to thank our executive producer and director, Tom Lima, producer Shannon Carlson, audio technician Tess Rote, on-site engineer Arthur Smith, statistician Michael Garman, field reporter Nick Bello, and the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce. I'm Stephen Hoff saying goodnight from the city by the sea.